The era of Beast Girls begins with a pact with an SSS-Level School Beauty. Hey, fanfic family! So glad to see you here again to continue this incredible adventure. As always, kindly remember, this story is 100% fiction. So don't go looking for dimensional portals in your closet. All rights to this fantastic novel belong to the original author. We're just your humble narrators of epic tales. Are you enjoying the fanfic? Show it by subscribing to our YouTube channel and dropping us a like. And if you're impatient for more exclusive content, our Patreon is your happy place. Chapter 301, Functionality Successfully Completed, A Pleasant Surprise. Heads erupted from the ground, a brutal act that sent chills down the spines of the Monkey King and elders. Not a single corpse remained, leaving no trace of death, filling them with both rage and fear. Yun Bing said expressionlessly, "I gave you a chance. If you're going to be kept in captivity, you must be prepared to be kept in captivity." The monkeys of the Beast Girl era were mutated magical beasts, with no ancestral connection to humans, no blood ties whatsoever, two completely different races. As a human, Yun Bing showed no mercy to magical beasts. On the border, alien magical beasts constantly invaded the Dragon Kingdom's territory, and every day, many brave and selfless warriors sacrificed themselves at the hands of these beasts. In the Beast Girl era, humans and magical beasts were inherently antagonistic. Xiao Ye stepped forward and said, "From now on, your monkey troop must increase the frequency of mating and the birth rate, striving to double the number of monkeys within a year. In the Holy Spirit's secret realm, you don't need to worry about invasions from other magical beasts, just focus on mating and producing baby monkeys." The Monkey King and elders were still in a state of anger and fear, and wouldn't listen. Yun Bing coldly snorted. Her voice wasn't loud, but it resonated in the ears of the Monkey King and elders, striking their souls and bringing them to their senses. "What, do I need to repeat myself?" Yun Bing threatened coldly. Sensing the increasingly tighter binding force around him, and knowing his life would be in danger if it tightened any further, the monkey elder's hair stood on end. He hurriedly replied, "We will do as you say, sirs." The Monkey King also responded, "From this day forward, the monkey troop's survival strategy will change. Mating and reproduction will be the primary focus, cultivation secondary. Whoever produces the most offspring will have the highest status." After speaking, the Monkey King looked troubled and said, "Sir, the monkey troop's birth rate is already low. Even if we try our best to produce offspring, we can't double it in a year." Xiao Ye smiled, "Don't worry, Zuir will prepare medicine to increase your success rate in fertility and aphrodisiacs to increase the number of matings. As long as your offspring can advance to the Grandmaster realm, that's fine." The Monkey King clasped his hands in thanks. "Thank you, sir." The monkey elders all replied, "Thank you, sir." Mu King's pretty face flushed with embarrassment. Why did she have to prepare those indecent things? She moved closer to Xiao Ye, grabbed his waist and pinched it hard, saying irritably, "I don't know anything about this stuff. How am I supposed to do this if you ask me to prepare?" Xiao Ye scratched his head and laughed. "You've experienced the effects of aphrodisiacs, so you should know which ones are more effective. Fertility-enhancing drugs should be about the same." Experienced aphrodisiacs? Mu Kingsu remembered the underground crystal mine and how she had begged Xiao Ye to cure her poison. Her pretty face flushed red, and she glared at him, saying, "I'll go find it. Why bring that up? Honestly." Then, Yun Bing deactivated spatial solidification, restoring the area to normal. She then went to other locations within the massive mountain range, where the captured monsters warned her against fighting. After doing this, Xiao Ye took out Quasi-Emperor level, Quasi-Rule level, Bronze Palace, and activated Dimensional World Collection function. He also used the authority of the Holy Spirit's secret realm to prevent it from resisting. The small Bronze Palace soared into the sky, returning to its original size, a tower with a diameter of 10,000 meters and a height of 1,000,000 meters. The Bronze Palace emitted a gentle, humming power that spread outwards, enveloping the entire Holy Spirit realm. Whoosh! The Bronze Palace leaped out of the small world and into the void. In the void, the Holy Spirit realm was merely a tiny point of light, which the Bronze Palace directly captured and absorbed. Small world successfully absorbed, becoming the 9th level meta world of the Bronze Palace. The original 9th level tower top becomes the 10th level. Xiao Ye was still within the Holy Spirit realm, but the Holy Spirit realm had already been absorbed into the Bronze Palace. Just now, the three of them only felt the world shake slightly, the disturbance lasting only a fraction of a second. Yunbing sensed the special node and was surprised to find that the Holy Spirit realm was no longer on Blue Star, but inside a tall tower. As expected of the Bronze Palace, it can even capture small worlds, she exclaimed. Xiao Ye waved his hand, and a blue light gate appeared. The three passed through the blue light gate of the Bronze Hall and arrived in the void space within the Blue Star special interlayer. In this void space, everything was empty, no matter existed, and nothing could be seen at a glance. Only a tall tower radiating a mysterious light stood there. Xiao Ye raised his hand, and the tower automatically shrank to a small, exquisite tower the size of a delicate palm, hovering above his hand. He smiled and said, "From now on, no one can force their way into the Holy Spirit's secret realm from here. They can only enter the Holy Spirit's secret realm by finding the Bronze Hall and breaking through its defenses, which are at the peak of the quasi-emperor level. In this world, we don't even know if there are any experts who can break through the defenses of a quasi-emperor level spiritual artifact." Then, Yunbing, a high-level supreme, tore open a special rift, bringing the two back to Villa Number 2 in the Lakeview Villa district. Back inside the villa, Yunbing approached, her beautiful eyes filled with anticipation, and held out her hand, saying, "Xiao Ye, where are the special rule fragment crystals? Let me see them." Xiao Ye smiled, "You want to see my precious treasures?" Yunbing nodded, "Yes, I want to see." Mu Qingsu also came closer. Xiao Ye took out 2 special rule fragment crystals and 2 temporal rule fragment crystals, handing them to Yunbing and Mu Qingsu respectively, and smiled, "2 for each of you, a gift for you." Yunbing and Mu Qingsu happily accepted them, examining them carefully in their delicate hands. Spatial and temporal rules, one radiating profound special rule power, the other radiating mysterious temporal rule power. When the 2 rule powers collided, Xiao Ye discovered that the narrow space-time had actually distorted, as if a great terror was brewing, causing one to instinctively take a step back. "You two, don't get so close." Xiao Ye pushed Yunbing and Mu Qingsu away from each other. The 2 women, unaware of the distorted space-time, moved away with puzzled expressions. Their delighted eyes revealed their great affection for the 2 different types of rule fragment crystals: template adjuster, 100% functionality complete; template adjuster, functionality completed successfully; extraction function, can select any attribute type of rule fragment crystal from a magical beast for extraction; template upgrade function, after upgrading the template, the original realm is retained, but requires a large amount of energy. The information entered is mined, and Xiao Ye was overjoyed. This functional improvement not only perfected the template upgrade function but also the rule fragment extraction function. From now on, after upgrading the template, the realm will not decrease, and when extracting rule fragments, he can freely choose which type of rule fragment to extract. For example, if the demon ancient tree has time, wood, earth, and destruction attributes, and he wants to extract time rule fragment crystals, he will only extract this type, not other attribute rule fragment crystals. Of course, he can freely choose to extract 2 or even more types. Chapter 302 Xiao Ye, stand up and stand on your feet. Of course, the exact number of similar rule fragment crystals that can be extracted depends on the level of the monster template and the quantity and type of rule fragments within it. Sister Yunbing, your template is only missing a dark attribute rule fragment. When do you want to upgrade your template? Xiao Ye asked. Yunbing countered, won't your realm reset to 0 after upgrading the template? Mu Qingsu put the time-related rule fragment crystal into her pocket and looked over curiously. Xiao Ye's lips curled into a smile. That depends on your attitude. If I'm in a good mood, I can comprehend the method to preserve my realm; if I'm not, it's uncertain. Yunbing rolled her eyes at him, a half-smile on her face, as if she had already seen through Xiao Ye's thoughts. Mu Qingsu suddenly understood and resolved to treat Xiao Ye well. Dark attribute monsters are in the Monster Forest training base of our academy. Let's go there now. Yunbing opened a special passage. Yunbing and Mu Qingsu eagerly stepped into the special passage. Xiao Ye's legs, however, remained rooted to the spot. He crossed his arms and said, "My legs are numb, I can't walk anymore. You two go ahead." The 2 women paused, turning around in unison, their lips twitching. A venerable realm cultivator getting leg cramps for no reason? You're the first one. You're even more arrogant than me, really. Xiao Ye simply replied, "My legs are numb." Mu Kingsu walked over and squatted down in front of him, raising her two delicate white hands to grasp Xiao Ye's calves, her slender fingers giving them a firm massage. After a while, Mu Kingsu raised her head, blinking her beautiful, clear eyes, and asked, "Are your legs still numb?" Xiao Ye looked down at her and replied, "If you change into a maid outfit and massage me, my legs won't be numb anymore." Mu Kingsu imagined herself in a maid outfit, her beautiful eyes widening, and she shook her head violently. No way. How could the proud Mu Kingsu possibly wear such a shameful maid outfit? Xiao Ye looked at Yunbing and asked curiously, "Then are you wearing it?" Yunbing was speechless. She turned around, raised her long, white legs suddenly, and kicked out in an arc, hitting him squarely and sending him flying into the spatial rift. Clapping her hands, Yunbing laughed. Done. Mu Kingsu was dumbfounded. Then, the two of them also entered the spatial passage. On the other side, in the training base of the 10 academies in the Magic City, in the Magic Beast Forest, somewhere in the north of the Magic Beast Forest. It will be noon soon, the time when the sunlight is strongest. It will be the best time for us to break through the dark attribute Magic Beast's nest in one fell swoop. Is everyone ready? Boss, we're ready. If we take down this Magic Beast's nest, our Kunpeng Academy will be firmly in first place in the points ranking. HMPH, isn't Titan Academy very powerful? This month's first place belongs to our Kunpeng Academy. In the grass, 12 outstanding students, concealing their figures and auras, were staring intently at the tree hole of the huge ancient tree. I'll count to 3. When I reach 3, we'll rush into the tree hollow and annihilate the dark attribute chameleon monster, one of them announced. The others immediately responded, "No problem. We'll all listen to the boss. We trust the boss's plan." The man whispered, 1, 2. As he counted to 2, a spatial rift appeared before the hollow of the massive ancient tree. Its dark aura chilling. Damn. A man crawled out of the spatial rift, nearly falling flat on his face, but luckily he was agile enough to land gracefully with a backflip. Yunbing, you have no sportsmanship, he cursed. 2. The person counting abruptly stopped. Who's this handsome guy? He looks so familiar. I feel like I've seen him somewhere before. Oh, I remember now, it's Xiao Shen, the number 1 on the prodigy ranking. Wow, it's actually him. What's Xiao Shen doing here? Is he going to steal our magical beasts? The person counting said, so it's Xiao Shen. Everyone, don't move, let's see what he's up to. Just as Xiao Ye was cursing, 2 long legs stretched out from the spatial rift, perfect leg shapes, beautiful curves, followed by a curvaceous figure and a slightly underdeveloped body, and finally 2 exquisitely beautiful faces. One was a mature, sophisticated woman, and the other was a pure, youthful girl. Yunbing and Mu Kingsu. Wow, 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 wow. It's the goddess Weistine. I actually saw the supreme goddess Weistine here. My dream goddess, I'm so excited. The one next to the goddess is also beautiful, just a little flat-chested. The Kunpeng Academy's prodigies, hidden in the grass, were overjoyed and excited, like fans meeting their goddess superstar. Xiao Ye noticed them but ignored them, pointing at Yunbing and saying, I'll stand up and kick tonight. Yunbing shrugged, indicating she understood, and said, kick however you want. But getting upgrade resources is important now, don't think about those other things. Mu Kingsu looked puzzled, kick what? Yunbing's divine sense swept out, penetrating into the tree and underground, revealing the locations of the dark attribute chameleon monsters sleeping in tree holes and burrows all at once. Spatial teleportation, cross-distance teleportation, spatial solidification, activated her 2 talent skills. She directly took action, capturing all the dark attribute chameleon monsters that slept during the day and were active at night, imprisoning them in front of the huge ancient tree hole. Swish swish swish. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. One after another, sleeping magical beasts appeared, piling up in front of the tree hollow. In less than 10 seconds, a large pile had formed, numbering about 120. The highest realm was the peak of the Grandmaster realm, the average realm was 6 stars of the Grandmaster realm, and the lowest realm was 9 stars of the mortal realm, or the 9th rank of the mortal realm. That's enough, Xiao Ye said. Yunbing nodded and used spatial compression to crush all the magical beasts into meat patties, splattering blood everywhere. Xiao Ye activated the extraction function of the template adjuster. He selected to extract only the dark attribute rule fragment crystals. The extraction power of the supreme rank descended, and the recently deceased meat patties twitched, emitting a putrid stench. Their bodies became mangled and broken, then quickly disintegrated into fragments, which rapidly decomposed into powder and finally dissipated into the air. Grandmaster Realm Dark Attribute Magical Beasts, 128 Arc Rule Fragment Crystals successfully extracted. Xiao Ye gave an OK sign. Yunbing and Mu Qingxu were overjoyed. The objective was achieved, and the special rift remained. Xiao Ye urged the two women to step inside. Just as Yunbing and Mu Qingxu stepped into the rift, Xiao Ye seized the opportunity. Leaping up and kicking out with both feet. Smack! Smack! He landed solid kicks on the two women's shapely buttocks. Damn! Ouch! Yunbing and Mu Qingxu stumbled and fell directly into the special passage. Xiao Ye, a smile on his face, walked into the special rift with satisfaction. This scene was witnessed by the Kunpeng prodigies hidden in the grass. They all stared wide-eyed in disbelief, exclaiming, "Holy crap, Xiao Shen is really brave. That's the supreme goddess Vicetine. What does it feel like to kick her? I think I heard Xiao Shen say something about standing up and kicking. Wow, could it be that I misunderstood something else?" Chapter 303 Yunbing in Contrasting Female Attire. Upgrading the SSS Level Space Kunpeng template requires 50 Creation Type Rule Fragment Crystals, 50 Dark Attribute Rule Fragment Crystals, and 50 Space Type Rule Fragment Crystals. However, these are the upgrade requirements before the template adjuster's functions are fully optimized. Back at Yunbing's Vicetine's villa, Xiao Ye used the template adjuster to examine Yunbing's template and check the upgrade requirements. Mythical Level Space Venerable King Kunpeng Template. Upgrade requirements. View upgrade requirements. Rule fragments. 50 Creation Type, 50 Dark Attribute, 50 Space Type, Energy Resources. 159th Order Crystal Cores, 150 Grandmaster Level Crystal Cores, 150 Great Grandmaster Level Crystal Cores, 150 Venerable Level Crystal Cores, 150 Great Venerable Level Crystal Cores, 120 Supreme Level Mid-Grade Crystal Cores. The strength difference between an SSS level template and a mythical level template at the same realm is hundreds of times. After upgrading the template, retaining the original realm requires a significant amount of energy resources to ensure the template owner's realm is not unstable and to maintain a stable foundation. Xiao Ye frowned upon seeing this. Yunbing's current realm was Supreme 9 stars, or Supreme 9th rank, just one step away from Supreme 10th rank. The energy she needed to replenish was enormous. He had 150 magical beast cores of various realms below the Supreme realm, but where would he get 120 mid-grade Supreme realm cores? He would have to kill 120 Supreme Realm magical beasts to obtain that many Supreme Realm cores. This was the powerful drawback of the template: superior aptitude, invincible among those of the same realm, unlimited potential, and rapid leveling up, but the resources required for leveling up were 10 to 20 times that of an SSS level template. Yunbing swayed her graceful figure and walked over, eagerly saying, "Xiao Ye, we've gathered enough resources for the upgrade. Shall we upgrade the template now?" Xiao Ye hesitated, his face showing difficulty. Yunbing gave him a charmingly disdainful look, pouting and saying irritably, "HMPH, your legs are numb? Let me massage them for you." She knelt down in front of Xiao Ye and gently massaged his calves. Her technique was clumsy, and the pressure wasn't quite right, but having the Supreme Goddess Teen massage him greatly satisfied Xiao Ye's vanity. After massaging one calf for a while, she moved to the other. After a while, Yunbing looked up, revealing an extremely beautiful and mature face, and asked, "Are your legs not numb anymore?" Xiao Ye shook his head. Yunbing gave him another disdainful look, knowing that he wasn't numb but wanted her attention. So, in a domineering tone, she looked up from her squatting position and said, "You can kick them however you want tonight. Standing, lying down, sitting, even upside down, it's all fine." Xiao Ye's lips twitched. Seeing that he still wasn't going to move, Yunbing decided to go all out for the upgrade template, saying, "Can I wear a maid outfit to massage you?" HMPH, me, the Supreme Being, wearing a maid outfit? Really? She muttered as she walked into the bedroom, emerging less than half a minute later, still wearing her original leather jacket and shorts. Her beautiful face showed embarrassment as she scratched her head, saying, "I forgot, I don't have a maid outfit. I'll go buy one right now." Yunbing vanished, teleporting away instantly. Mu Qingxu's face darkened. and she glared at Xiao Ye, saying, "You don't expect me to wear a maid outfit before you'll upgrade my template, do you? I'm the daughter of the city lord's mansion. I would never wear such shameful clothes." Xiao Ye shook his head, getting straight to the point. "It's not about wearing a maid outfit. It's not that I don't want to upgrade Yunbing's template, but after the upgrade technique is improved, maintaining the original realm requires a massive supply of energy resources. Yunbing is a supreme 9-star. To maintain this realm, besides some basic resources, she also needs 150 supreme mid-grade crystal cores." Mu Kingsu was stunned. 150, and supreme mid-grade crystal cores at that? Even with the city lord's mansion's millennial-long resources, they probably couldn't produce that many crystal cores. "I got them." A melodious, mature voice rang out, and Yunbing returned using instant teleportation, holding a delicate wooden box in her hands. Mu Kingsu's lips twitched, as if she wanted to say something, but ultimately said nothing. Yunbing entered the bedroom and came out half a minute later. A white and black mini dress. The dress was completely stretched taut by Yunbing's proud and pert figure, highlighting her curvaceous body. The mini dress reached just above mid-thigh, concealing her shapely private area, and was paired with 2 pairs of black over-the-top stockings, leaving only a small section of her white thighs exposed. What was most eye-catching was the contrast between Yunbing's long-standing aura of authority, her status as the vice principal and teacher, and her beautiful mature face, all combined with a seemingly effortless maid outfit. Even as her slightly embarrassed face flushed, she walked step by step to Xiao Ye, squatted down, and gently massaged Xiao Ye's calves with her slender hands. Xiao Ye raised his hand and patted her head, smiling, "Thank you for your hard work." Yunbing's mature and beautiful face was rosy and flushed, and she looked up, asking, "Do you like it?" Xiao Ye nodded. Yunbing smiled, her smile as beautiful as a blooming rose, her eyes brimming with affection. "If you like it, I can wear it for you every day," she said. Mu Kingsu's mouth formed an O shape, utterly astonished. A supreme figure, a top-tier celebrity in Shanghai, actually willing to lower herself to please a man like this? A woman dresses for the one she loves? Could this be the power of love? Mu Kingsu shifted her body awkwardly. At this moment, she realized that her feelings for Xiao Ye weren't as deep as Yunbing's love, nor was she willing to abandon worldly views and constraints. If Sister Yunbing can do it, so can I. Mu Kingsu clenched her fist, biting her lower lip, making up her mind. She understood. For love, what was wrong with temporarily setting aside her pride? She felt a sense of elevation at this moment. Xiao Ye gently lifted Yunbing's stammering chin, forcing her to look directly at him. He said with a touch of pity, "I have bad news for you." Yunbing blinked her beautiful eyes, a look of confusion rising on her face, waiting for him to finish. Xiao Ye stated bluntly, "The resources required for upgrading the template have increased significantly. Not only do you need rule fragments, but you also need crystal cores, 150 9th tier crystal cores, 150 Grandmaster crystal cores, 150 Great Grandmaster crystal cores, 150 Venerable crystal cores, 150 Great Venerable crystal cores, and 120 mid-grade Supreme crystal cores. You need all these resources to ensure your cultivation level doesn't drop after the template upgrade. If the energy resources are insufficient, your cultivation level will inevitably drop after the template upgrade, and you'll need to start cultivating again." Mu Kingsu turned her face away, unable to bear seeing the disappointment and regret on Yunbing's face. Yunbing was stunned. 120 mid-grade Supreme crystal cores? After her initial shock, she fell silent, her face expressionless, but the disappointment in her beautiful eyes was difficult to conceal. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 304: Upgrading the Cloud Ice Template. Over the years, her collection had amassed an astonishing 15 Supreme Realm crystal cores. These 15 crystal cores were acquired by slaying 15 Supreme Realm magical beasts, a feat that alone made her the revered and respected Kunpeng Queen. Even the bottom 10 Supreme Vajra Supremas of the Magic City base wouldn't have slain more than 2 Supreme Realm magical beasts. While defeating or repelling a magical beast wasn't difficult for a fellow Supreme Realm expert, killing it was extremely challenging. Even if a Supreme Realm magical beast couldn't defeat a human Supreme, it would cleverly choose to flee, tearing open spatial rifts to escape. Xiao Ye's statement that the required resources were 150 mid-grade Supreme Realm crystal cores undoubtedly told her that upgrading the template would inevitably lower her cultivation level. She either had to choose not to upgrade the template, or accept the price of a lower cultivation level after upgrading. Yunbing remained silent for a moment, then raised her hand, revealing 15 Supreme Realm crystal cores. 8 low-grade Supreme, 6 mid-grade Supreme, and 1 high-grade Supreme. These are all the Supreme Realm crystal cores I have. I have 150 crystal cores for each realm below Supreme. 15 Supreme Realm crystal cores should keep my realm from dropping too low, right? She asked. Xiao Ye estimated for a moment and said, these crystal cores should be enough to lower your cultivation level to the second or third tier of the Supreme Realm, and then it won't drop any lower. Are you really sure you've thought it through? Upgrading the template now? Yunbing nodded solemnly. I've thought it through. Xiao Ye smiled. Okay, let's go to the Holy Spirit secret realm first. Upgrading the template will cause too much noise. It won't attract the attention of powerful individuals there. Don't be too disappointed. A mythical level template at the third tier of the Supreme Realm might be much stronger than an SSS level template at the 9th tier of the Supreme Realm. Although your cultivation level will decrease, your combat power might increase. Yunbing's beautiful eyes lit up, her disappointment vanishing in an instant, replaced by a bright smile. She stood up and said, I believe you. Mu Kingsu pondered for a moment and exclaimed, that's right. Your cultivation level might decrease, but your combat power might not. Both are Supreme Realm. How can an SSS level compare to a mythical level? Xiao Ye waved his hand, opening a blue light gate leading to the Holy Spirit secret realm on the 9th floor of the Bronze Palace. The portal, 2 meters high and 1 meter wide, stood in the open space. The three of them walked through the blue light gate, passed through the special passage, and entered the Bronze Palace, a quasi-emperor level perfected spiritual artifact, directly appearing in the Holy Spirit secret realm on the 9th floor. After the Holy Spirit secret realm became a dimensional mini-world included in the Bronze Palace, a domain teleportation array with an isolation barrier appeared at its very center. The domain teleportation array could freely travel to every floor of the Bronze Palace. Of course, Xiao Ye, with his access, did not need to use the teleportation array to go to any floor. Holy Spirit secret realm. On a vast, desolate grassland, Xiao Ye and his companions appeared. Previously, Cheng Bingxi and Liu Yat had also upgraded their templates in this location. Now, Cheng Bingxi was at the Supreme Realm. This grassland showed no signs of magical beast activity. All life was extinct. It was located at the very edge of the Holy Spirit secret realm, with a domain barrier at its end. Yunbing, dressed in a mini dress-maid outfit, sat cross-legged on the grass, almost revealing her private parts. She scattered crystal cores around her with a flick of her wrist, scattering them in a circle around her. There were 150 9th-tier Mortal Realm crystal cores, 150 Grandmaster crystal cores, 150 Great Grandmaster crystal cores, 150 Venerable crystal cores, 150 Great Venerable crystal cores, and 15 Supreme crystal cores. Because the energy was locked inside the crystal cores, releasing so many cores didn't cause much of a commotion. Seeing Xiao Ye staring intently at her skirt, Yunbing playfully scolded, you rascal, you can look all you want tonight, now upgrade your template. Mu Kingsu's lips twitched, and she kicked him in annoyance. Xiao Ye scratched his head, looked away, and said, these crystal cores are energy aggregates full of impurities. I'll purify them first so you can absorb them better, and it'll save you too much time upgrading your template. Upgrading the template would take a year or two, which would be ridiculous. Xiao Ye took out a rule-level treasure, the Zuan Huang Gem. Holding the Zuan Huang Gem, he raised his hand and a powerful suction force emanated from it. All the crystal cores around Yunbing were pulled up by the suction force and drawn into the Zuan Huang Gem. This suction force was so strong, like a strong gust of wind, that it completely lifted Yunbing's miniskirt, revealing her most private area, giving Xiao Ye and Mu Kingsu a feast for the eyes. Ugh! Yunbing's pretty face flushed, but she didn't try to cover herself. The suction force came quickly and went quickly, lasting only 2 seconds. After 2 seconds, the suction force disappeared, and the lifted miniskirt fell back down. Rule-level Zuan Huang Gem can purify, calm, and stabilize chaotic and violent rule power, Dao energy, potential energy, artistic conception energy, ordinary energy, etc. The Zuan Huang Gem emitted bursts of light, and within 10 minutes, 6 balls of pure energy liquid of different sizes spewed out, quietly hovering in midair. The mixed energy within the crystal cores of each realm, mortal realm, Grandmaster realm, Great Grandmaster realm, Venerable realm, Great Venerable realm, and Supreme realm, was perfectly purified, 1 ball of pure energy liquid per realm. Xiao Ye's expression was serious as he said, "Ready? Start upgrading the template." After Yunbing nodded, Xiao Ye mobilized the power of the contract. She sensed it and immediately mobilized her own contract power, beginning to summon the template contract beast. Roar! Yunbing and Xiao Ye disappeared, the world darkened, and a Kunpeng demonic beast with a body that blotted out the sky appeared in midair. Mu Qingsu looked up at the sky, her small face blank, and exclaimed, "What a huge fish!" The upgrade template needed to be upgraded on the summoned beast, so Xiao Ye, in his consciousness form, activated the template upgrade function of the template adjuster. A supreme, vast, and profound power emerged from the void and descended upon Kunpeng. Xiao Ye, in his consciousness form, retrieved 50 creation type, 50 dark attribute, and 50 space type rule fragment crystals from the system space and scattered them around Kunpeng. These numerous rule fragment crystals floated around Kunpeng. Then, under the influence of the supreme power of the template adjuster, they entered the Kunpeng summoned beast's body in an orderly and sequential manner. First came the creation type rule fragment crystals, then the space type rule fragment crystals, and finally the dark attribute rule fragment crystals. Each one entered, and after Kunpeng merged with it, it entered the next wave. 3, 9, 30. 3 kinds of rule power continuously surged from the Kunpeng summoned beast. Even the slightest leak of rule power caused the surrounding space to tremble and shift. The dark attribute rule power stripped away light, plunging this world into absolute darkness. Mu Qingsu left the grassland relying on her memory, only then regaining her normal vision. Looking there, she could only see pitch blackness, even probing with her spiritual power yielded nothing. The darkness not only blocked her vision but also her divine sense. Chapter 305 Mythical Space Venerable King Kunpeng Template. Seeing the terrifying phenomenon, Mu Qingsu felt she had broadened her horizons. A mythical template, unseen even in ancient times, never possessed by anyone. But now, she was witnessing the birth of a myth and a template. She was witnessing a miracle. Mu Qingsu became excited. Ahead, the entire grassland was plunged into complete darkness, and the Kunpeng summoned beast at its center entered a state of enlightenment. Space was born, space was destroyed. Chaotic space, void space, the main world, the dimensional world. Complete, broken, in the blink of an eye. Compression, stretching, cutting, imprisonment, teleportation, displacement, object manipulation, creation, destruction. As Kunpeng entered a state of enlightenment, fragments of different kinds of rules crystallized and, under the influence of supreme power, continuously entered Kunpeng's body. Kunpeng's understanding of space deepened further. Half an hour later, all 150 rule fragments crystallized and entered the Kunpeng summoned beast's body, transforming into the most essential power of rules. Under the supreme power of the template adjuster, they fused into every part of the Kunpeng summoned beast's body, permeating deep into its genes. The template is a concrete representation. It manifests throughout the summoned beast's entire body, from the microscopic to the macroscopic, from genes to the physical form, in every aspect. With all the rule fragments absorbed, the Kunpeng summoned beast's enlightenment ended. A series of insights surged through its mind, its understanding of space deepened, it comprehended new innate skills, and gained a more profound understanding of its old innate skills: open space, open a personal alternate space, spatial collapse, an advanced version of spatial shattering and compression, capable of causing the collapse and annihilation of an entire space or even a dimensional world, spatial storm, a storm composed of spatial blades, spatial confinement, and spatial shattering. Once caught in it, one will suffer cutting, confinement, and shattering effects, spatial turbulence, a talent skill composed of spatial teleportation, spatial confinement, and spatial compression. It manifests as a spatial turbulence like flowing water. Once hit, one will be confined and compressed, and then teleported to chaotic space, the core of the sun, the surface of a black hole, etc. The new talent skill has also been mastered by Xiao Ye and Yunbing, whose consciousness exists. Template upgrade completion, 95%. Detailed information can be viewed. View detailed information. Template upgrade completed, realm retention process in progress. The 6 clusters of pure energy liquid suspended in midair, starting from the mortal realm pure energy liquid, one cluster after another, up to the Grandmaster energy liquid and the Great Grandmaster energy liquid, directly entered the body of Kunpeng. The utter darkness vanished, and the distorted, trembling space returned to normal. A brand new Kunpeng summon appeared before Mu Kingsu's eyes. Ah, this. It's gotten even bigger. Its whiskers have turned golden, making it look even more imposing. Mu Kingsu's eyes widened in shock. The previous Kunpeng was 10,000 meters in size, but now it had grown more than 10 times larger, reaching an astonishing 100,000 meters. It was practically blotting out the sky, like dark clouds pressing down on a city. Is this the mythical level template? Mu Kingsu's anticipation for her template upgrade grew even stronger. Mu Kingsu suddenly noticed that although the Kunpeng was large, its aura was extremely unstable. 1 second it exuded the aura of the Supreme Realm, the next the aura of the Mortal Realm, and then the aura of the Grandmaster Realm. Xiao Ye and Yunbing, who had just awakened from their state of enlightenment, also sensed this phenomenon. However, the two were not in a hurry. The pure energy liquid they had prepared before the upgrade was replenishing and strengthening the ethereal realm within the Kunpeng. With the replenishment of pure energy liquid and the influence of the template adjuster's supreme power, the Kunpeng summoned beast's realm became incredibly solid, and its aura became extremely stable. Mortal Realm, Grandmaster Realm, Great Grandmaster Realm, Venerable Realm, Great Venerable Realm, Supreme Realm. The Kunpeng summoned beast's realm had reached the second stage of the Supreme Realm. Its foundation was incredibly solid, and its realm extremely stable. As time passed, after an unknown period, all the pure energy liquid was absorbed. Template upgrade complete. The template adjuster transmitted a message. All the anomalies disappeared, and the Kunpeng summoned beast returned to normal. However, the surging spatial Dao power, the change in its size, its inner talent, potential, strength, and template changes indicated that it had just undergone a tremendous transformation. In Mu Kingsu's perception, the Kunpeng's aura had become stable, and its aura strength was even greater than before. It must have been a successful upgrade. She clenched her fists, her pretty face beaming with excitement. This is the mythical template. A mythical template that has never appeared even in ancient times. A mythical template favored by heaven and earth, blessed by the laws of heaven and earth. Suddenly, her vision blurred, the scenery changed, and the surrounding landscape transformed into the sky. Mu Kingsu was shocked to find herself sitting on the head of a giant Kunpeng summoned beast. This was Yunbing's doing. Xiao Ye muttered, "You're sitting on my head now, and I'll sit on yours later." Yunbing was somewhat excited, shouting, "The current me can definitely kill the previous me in an instant. This strength, this power, this special control, is more than 10 times stronger than before." As a Supreme Realm expert, Yunbing had a very detailed understanding and control of her own power, so she could sense the difference immediately. With a whoosh, the instant teleport talent skill was activated. The sky-covering Kunpeng instantly leaped from the edge of the Holy Spirit's secret realm, which was the Great Grassland, to the center of the Holy Spirit's secret realm, the center of the island, outside the teleportation array barrier. The distance spanned hundreds of thousands of kilometers, causing spatial fluctuations that were subtle enough to be microscopic. This indicated that Yunbing's control over space had greatly improved. The deeper the spatial control, the less energy was needed to use innate skills, the smaller the disturbance caused, and the higher the combat power that could be unleashed. The appearance of the Supreme Realm Kunpeng was dazzling in midair. Due to its enormous size, it attracted the attention of the life-type magical beasts on the islands in the sea. Supreme Realm Magical Beast? No, this is a quasi-saint. Hiss. A quasi-saint powerhouse. No offense intended, I'll leave immediately. This small world is about to change. I declare that my clan will be sealed off from the mountains and will not emerge for 10,000 years. The racial leaders at the peak of the Great Venerable Realm exclaimed one after another, their expressions a mixture of longing and fear. Then, the Kunpeng summoned beast wandered around the mountain range where the space attribute monkeys were located, intimidating them for a while, before deactivating its summoned beast form and reverting to human form. Supreme Realm Second Stage. Yunbing sensed her own realm, and the realm of her human form had also dropped to Supreme Realm Second Stage. My cultivation level has reached the 7th level of the Venerable Realm, Xiao Ye said with a smile. Mengxuan's face darkened. How did you level up again? I'm only at the peak of the Grandmaster realm. Xiao Ye confessed, my beast girl has become a summoned beast for cultivation. I receive feedback from the summoned beast, and my cultivation level naturally increases and breaks through. Yunbing and Mengxuan's eyes lit up with jealousy. After returning to Villa number 2 through the blue light gate, a day and a half had passed since entering the bronze hall. It was now the evening of the second day. Looking at the sky, Xiao Ye wanted to return to Liu Ya's Villa number 10 with Mengxuan. But before Xiao Ye could even step out the door, Yunbing grabbed him, saying passionately, "You rascal, don't you want to be dumped anymore? I want to be dumped. Don't go." Chapter 306 Quest triggered, Reward, a rule-level supreme treasure. Having only been in a contract with Xiao Ye for 2 days, Yunbing hadn't even had enough of being a woman, so how could she possibly let Xiao Ye go and leave her alone? Xiao Ye's eyes widened. These wild words are outrageous. Sister Yunbing, I was just joking. You actually took it seriously? He looked incredulous. Hearing this, anger rose on Yunbing's beautiful face. She glared at him and said angrily, "Anyway, I agreed. So, are you coming or not? If you don't, I'm going to give you a few punches." She brandished her fists and walked towards Xiao Ye, her beautiful eyes full of threat. Xiao Ye retreated step by step, until he was forced against the wall. Yunbing blocked his escape route, her curvaceous body pressed against him, threatening, "You were just joking, you made me wait for nothing. Are you coming or not?" At the villa gate, watching Xiao Ye being pinned against the wall by Yunbing, Mengxuan looked surprised and said crisply, "Sister Yunbing, wait a minute." Yunbing raised an eyebrow and pleaded, "Mengxuan, you and Xiao Ye only recently formed a contract, but today, I hope you can give him to me." Mengxuan nodded, "Of course, no problem. But I have a question, what does standing up and kicking mean?" she asked, puzzled. Yunbing privately explained it to her, then said, "You can come along if you want." Mengxuan's pretty face flushed instantly, turning as red as a ripe apple. She stamped her foot shyly and said, I don't want to. You guys play by yourselves, I'm going back." She moved like a rabbit, quickly running away, as if afraid Yunbing would force her to stay. As the daughter of the city lord, she used to be extremely arrogant, looking down on men. She spent her days studying and cultivating, her cultivation level and combat power far surpassing her peers, which is why she became the top prodigy in the demon capital base city. She knew very little about that kind of thing. Only after meeting Xiao Ye did she gradually let go of her aversion to men, and her knowledge broadened after their marriage. Xiao Ye looked at Yunbing, who was so close to him, and shrugged, saying, "As you wish, I'll agree to whatever you want. After all, you're my beast girl, and of course I have to pamper my own beast girl." Yunbing laughed, a glint of light flashing in her beautiful eyes, and pulled him into the master bedroom on the 3rd floor. The villa's main door and bedroom door closed automatically. Prepare for judgment. The next morning at 10 o'clock. Knock knock knock. Knock knock knock. A rhythmic knocking sounded at the door of Villa number 2. Mengxuan, a burly man, stood outside. On the 3rd floor, Yunbing and Xiao Ye were already awake. After a night of commotion and studying the human body, the two were inseparable and didn't want to get up yet. "Someone's here," Yunbing said, her head resting on Xiao Ye's chest. Xiao Ye sat up, stretched, and then playfully slapped her twice, saying, "Okay. Get up, you little sleepyhead." 10 minutes later, the two finished washing up and went downstairs to greet their guests. Opening the villa door, they saw Mengxuan and Qin Tai, the city lord of Jinling City. "Brother Xiao, Sister Kumpen, good morning." Qin Tai greeted them with a fist and palm salute. He sensed something, took a deep breath, and congratulated her, "Sister Kumpen, your cultivation has reached another level. Congratulations." Yunbing's aura was more than 10 times stronger than before, which Qin Tai interpreted as a breakthrough in her cultivation. "As expected of Brother Xiao, you must have cultivated all night yesterday. Truly diligent cultivation, wasting no time, you are a role model for us all." He praised without reservation, and it was genuine praise. Yes, we cultivators must not waste a single second of our time cultivating." Xiao Ye replied without batting an eye. Mengxuan inwardly spat a few times. "You don't cultivate at all, it's all the beast girls cultivating, you're just receiving feedback to level up, and you still have the audacity to say you're seizing every moment to cultivate, how shameless." And what were you doing last night? Don't you know what you were doing? Yun Bing chuckled and said, City Lord Qin, is there something you need? Qin Tai's expression turned serious, and he clasped his hands in greeting. Sister Kunpeng, Brother Xiao, I have obtained 2 fragments of creation-type rule crystals from my family's ancestor. I've come to ask Mr. Xiao to completely resolve my daughter's physical issues. Of course, I will pay the fee and will definitely satisfy Mr. Xiao, Xiao Ye said. There's no rush. I just treated your daughter a couple of days ago, the effects should last for a week. To be honest, Xiao Ye was reluctant to resolve Qin Zier's template problem. It wasn't his own beast girl, fixing a physical defect was fine, it was just a matter of convenience. Moreover, the reason he was willing to resolve Qin Zier's physical defects was because he admired Qin Tai's character and because of the reward he received for entering the Bronze Palace. But he wasn't familiar with the Qin family, and their relationship wasn't deep. The Bronze Palace didn't belong to the Qin family anyway, so he didn't feel guilty about taking it. Qin Tai choked on his words. With his keen eye for facial expressions, he could easily tell that Xiao Ye didn't want to resolve his daughter's template problem. Qin Tai's heart sank. He had finally found a solution, and for his daughter's sake, he wouldn't give up easily. Thump. Qin Tai knelt down, pleading, Brother Xiao, please save Xier. Xiao Ye jumped aside, preventing him from facing him, saying, City Lord Qin, don't try to morally blackmail me. I won't fall for that. Yun Bing frowned. Mu Qingsu felt sympathetic towards Qin Zier's plight and spoke up. I heard from Sister Bingxi and the others that City Lord Qin came 3 times yesterday, but couldn't find you. Today is the 4th time. Yun Bing reached out and unleashed special power, forcibly making the kneeling Qin Tai stand up. Qin Tai wanted to resist, wanting to continue kneeling until Xiao Ye agreed. But then, he was shocked. Even at the 10th level of the Supreme Realm, he couldn't resist. No matter how he used the power of the restrictions, he couldn't erase this special power, he was directly straightened by it. After standing up, he tried to kneel again to plead, but he couldn't even manage to kneel down. Hiss. Sister Kunpeng's realm must have advanced to quasi-saint. He was secretly surprised. Xiao Ye felt troubled. He greatly admired Qin Tai's character, but that was all. Hosts encountered event detected, mission triggered, mission. Solve the template problem for the Qin family's daughter. Mission reward, rule level treasure hunting pointer, rules level treasure hunting pointer description. As long as it exists in the world, it can find a hiding place of all rare and precious materials, including the location of any attribute magical beast, the location of a soul body, the special node of a secret realm, and the location of a supreme treasure. Mission can be refused, no penalty for refusal. Xiao Ye was stunned after receiving the information. Seeing that Xiao Ye remained silent for a long time and that Xiao Ye looked troubled, Qin Tai already knew the answer. He clasped his hands and said, Since Brother Xiao has difficulties, I won't force you. I'll come again next time. Brother Xiao, Sister Kunpeng, I still have many matters to attend to in Jinling City. I'll take my leave now. He said politely and turned to walk towards the villa gate, exiting in a few seconds. After reading the message, Xiao Ye suddenly called out, Uncle Qin. Wait. Chapter 307 Qin Zier, I choose Xiao Ye. Xiao Ye coveted the system reward, a rule-level treasure hunting pointer capable of finding all treasures in the world and pinpointing the locations of elemental magical beasts. With this pointer, finding the habitat of reincarnation-type elemental magical beasts would be a piece of cake. Reincarnation-type rule fragment crystals were essential resources for upgrading Mu Qingsu's time template. He had already collected creation-type and time-type rule fragment crystals, only lacking 50 reincarnation-type ones. Moreover, this system task was very simple, it was just a matter of moving his fingers. And Qin Tai's character was trustworthy, he wouldn't casually leak secrets. Wait! As soon as Xiao Ye shouted, a flash of white light appeared, and Qin Tai's figure materialized before him. Qin Tai's face was filled with expectation as he asked, What are your instructions, Brother Xiao? Xiao Ye held up 2 fingers. 2 conditions, and I'll agree. Qin Tai was overjoyed, his delight barely concealed. He exclaimed excitedly, Don't even mention 2 conditions, I'll do 100. Brother Xiao, please tell me, what are the conditions? Xiao Ye said, First, I must resolve the template issue for your daughter, and no one other than you and your daughter is allowed to know, not even your family patriarch. Second, I haven't thought of the second condition yet. I'll tell you when I do. Qin Tai was overjoyed. I have no problem with the first condition, and you can name the second one as well, Brother Xiao. He tossed out a token engraved with the character Qin, saying, with this token, the Qin family will unconditionally do one thing for Brother Xiao. As long as the Qin family exists, this token will remain valid. Xiao Ye accepted the gift and replied, then Uncle Qin, you should go back first. 2 hours later, Sister Yunbing and I will go to Jinling City to completely resolve Uncle Qin's daughter's health issues. Qin Tai clasped his hands in thanks and left. Mu Qingsu scrutinized Xiao Ye. Strange, you're the type who doesn't act without a reason. Why did you suddenly agree to it? You wouldn't happen to have your eye on the Qin family's eldest daughter, would you? Tell me, isn't that right? Hearing this, Yunbing's gaze turned dangerous. Xiao Ye's face darkened. What are you saying? Do you think I, Xiao Ye, am that kind of person? Mu Qingsu nodded. Yes. Yunbing echoed, you are. Xiao Ye flicked them on the head, one on each side. Mu Qingsu cried out in pain, clutching her head. Yunbing glared at him, I'm a supreme being. You're the first person to hit me on the head. Xiao Ye smugly blew on his hand, so what if I'm a supreme being? I'll still hit you. What's wrong with hitting your head? What part of you haven't I hit? I'll hit you again tonight. Yunbing blushed. Xiao Ye's expression turned serious, and he asked, however, if you don't want me to treat Miss Qin, I can immediately refuse City Lord Qin, stating that the conditions are null and void, and that I cannot treat her. Mu Qingsu rubbed her aching head and shook her head, saying, since you've already agreed, just treat her then. Yunbing said, I won't stop you from doing whatever you want. Don't worry, I won't be an obstacle for you. You can treat her if you want, or not if you don't. Mu Qingsu wholeheartedly agreed, saying, me too. Looking at the two beast girls being so considerate, Xiao Ye sighed, with such a wife, what more could a husband ask for? On the other side, after returning to Jinling City, Qin Tai appeared directly outside Qin Zier's villa. He wanted to tell his daughter the good news as soon as possible. He knocked on the door, waited for a while, but received no response. Instead, the communicator rang. Upon answering, the butler's voice came through, Master, the Ye family from the capital has come to our city lord's mansion. They're in the main hall now, bringing many betrothal gifts. It seems they're planning an engagement. The Ye family, an engagement? I know, I'll be there right away, Qin Tai replied and hung up. He said this, but instead of immediately going to the main hall, he looked towards the villa, thinking, Zier isn't here. Where did she go? He thought for a moment, then focused his gaze on the small forest behind the city lord's mansion. With a whoosh, Qin Tai moved like a phantom, soaring into the small forest. Sure enough, under a towering ancient tree, beside a crystal-clear stream, Qin Zier was there. She sat on a stone slab by the stream, took off her shoes, revealing her small, white feet, and splashed around in the water. The huge, towering ancient tree behind her was the same one Xiao Ye had stood on to play in the water last time. What kind of person is Xiao Ye? She rested her chin on her hands, Xiao Ye's handsome face appearing in her mind. For the past 2 days, ever since Xiao Ye gave her a full-body massage, she couldn't stop thinking about him. She remembered his handsome face and his long, strong hands. Zier, you really are here. A deep voice rang out, and Qin Tai's imposing figure appeared beside Qin Zier. Father. Qin Zier called out sweetly. Yes. Qin Tai immediately told his daughter the good news, Brother Xiao has agreed to treat your physical condition, completely resolving your constitution problem and making you a normal person again. Qin Zier's pretty face lit up with a smile, and she asked in surprise, really? Qin Tai nodded heavily, his tone firm, really. He'll be in Jinling City in 2 hours. You should hurry back and prepare, take a bath, and get yourself clean so Brother Xiao can start. Qin Zier blushed slightly upon hearing this and replied, okay. Dad, you can go now. I want to bathe here, she urged. Qin Tai looked at the clean, unpolluted stream water and said, then hurry up, don't waste time. This place is usually only frequented by Qin Zier, it's her favorite place to relax. No one else is allowed to set foot here, so there's no need to worry about being spied on. Qin Tai turned to leave, but then he suddenly remembered something, stopped, and asked, Zier, the Ye family from the capital has come to propose marriage. Do you want to marry the young master of the Ye family? Qin Zier was bewildered and replied, I don't know. Qin Tai smiled and said, You don't need to feel pressured. If you don't want to marry, I'll just cancel the engagement. Your template already has a solution. The Ye family from the capital isn't the only option. This arranged marriage is just empty talk. Then how do you feel about Xiao Ye? Do you like him? Hearing the name Xiao Ye, Xie recalled the embarrassing scene of him massaging her, and her pretty face blushed, turning red to the roots of her ears. She covered her face with her hands. I don't know if I like Xiao Ye or not. Maybe I do. Looking at her girlish demeanor, Qin, being an experienced man, already had his answer in mind and said, I understand. After saying that, he left. Xie was a little confused. What did her father understand? She hadn't said anything. Then, Xie moved. A rustling sound rang out as pieces of clothing fell onto the clean stone slabs. She wasn't even wearing underwear when she stepped into the stream and submerged herself. Xie asked herself honestly, if she had to choose between the young master of the Ye family and Xiao Ye, she would choose Xiao Ye. Chapter 308 Xie has someone she likes. She was betrothed to the young master of the Ye family when they were very young, an engagement arranged by their elders. However, it was a verbal agreement, without a written contract. To this day, Xie had never met the young master of the Ye family. She knew nothing about his appearance, his preferences, or whether they were compatible. They were complete strangers. In contrast, her feelings for Xiao Ye were different. Just thinking of that excessively handsome face made her heart race uncontrollably. Moreover, these past few days had been the most comfortable she had ever experienced. She had never felt so relaxed and carefree, all thanks to Xiao Ye. The crystal-clear stream reflected her fair, delicate body, revealing glimpses of her curvaceous figure. Meanwhile, outside the main hall of the city lord's mansion in Jinling City, a 3-story spirit artifact pavilion hovered. Inside the main hall, the young master of the Ye family, with his flamboyant red hair, and an elderly man with a face full of wrinkles, sat at a tea table, quietly awaiting the arrival of City Lord Qin. Young Master Ye, Senior, my patriarch is currently handling some business. Your arrival was rushed and without prior notice, which is why he couldn't come immediately. However, I just informed him, and he will be here shortly. The Qin family steward was greeting them. The young master of the Ye family was somewhat impatient. In his view, the Qin family was just a small family. As the young master of the super-powerful Ye family, personally coming to a small family to propose marriage, the Qin family should be welcoming him with smiles and respect. But now, he had been waiting here for an hour, and the Qin family hadn't even come to greet him. Whether the Qin family had business or not, receiving the Ye family was more important. Such neglect was tantamount to disrespecting him and the Ye family of the capital. Ye Fan, the young master of the Ye family, stood up abruptly, his tone impetuous. I'm not waiting any longer. Where is Xie? Take me to see her. Stop dawdling. The Qin family steward looked troubled. I'm sorry, I can't take you to see Miss. Please wait a little longer, young Master Ye. My master will be here in less than 5 minutes, and he will personally take you to see Miss. Ye Fan was somewhat irritated. If Uncle Qin doesn't come within 5 minutes, I'll go find Xie myself. Seeing that the young master was losing his temper, the elderly man secretly reprimanded him telepathically. Young master, we're here to propose marriage, not to go shopping and sightseeing. Temporarily restrain your arrogant nature. As the city lord of Jinling City, Qin has many affairs to handle on a daily basis. We came without prior notice, so it's understandable that he couldn't spare the time to receive guests. Ye Fan sighed, somewhat sullen, and returned to the tea table. The elderly man was both his elder and his protector. No matter how arrogant he was, he still had to listen to his elder's advice. At this moment, the Qin family steward sensed something. His face lit up with joy, and he said, my master has arrived. As soon as he finished speaking, a burly, rugged-looking middle-aged man walked in through the back door of the main hall of the city lord's mansion. It was Qin. He laughed heartily and said, Elder Ye, young Master Ye, I was busy with important matters just now and neglected you. I apologize. Qin walked to the main seat and took the initiative to pour tea for Ye Fan and the elderly man. Upon seeing the arrival of the main figures, the elderly man smiled and said, it's all right, Lord Qin is very busy, we understand. Qin asked, what brings you to the Qin residence? Ye Fan stood up, clasped his hands in a fist and said, Uncle Qin, I've come to propose marriage. As you know, Xie and I have been betrothed since childhood. Although we've never met, she has always been my fiancée. We've reached the age to enter into a marriage contract. I'm not married and she's not married, so today is an auspicious day for our engagement." Qin Tai raised an eyebrow and laughed heartily. Yes, today is an auspicious day. Young Master Yi is handsome and exceptionally talented, a perfect match for my Xie. Yi Fan smiled. "So, Uncle Qin, you've agreed to the Yi family's proposal?" He waved his hand, and a pile of exquisite boxes appeared in midair, about 20 in total. The boxes lined up one by one, their lids opening automatically to reveal their contents. "This is the betrothal gift from the Yi family. 10 high-grade Grand Venerable Crystal Cores, 3 low-grade Supreme Disposable Items, 3 mid-grade Supreme Disposable Items, 3 low-grade Supreme Magical Beast Crystal Cores, and 1 Supreme Perfection Level Talisman. A total of 20 items." Looking at this pile of high-level items, the lowest grade of which was a high-grade Grand Venerable Crystal Core, and 10 of which were Supreme-level items, Qin Tai swallowed hard, somewhat tempted. As expected of the Yi family, one of the 4 super families of the capital, their generosity and luxurious betrothal gifts were truly impressive. Seeing Qin Tai's tempted expression, Yi Fan thought to himself, this marriage proposal is a sure thing. These 20 betrothal gifts were far better than the ones he had given at the Mu family's mansion in the Magic City base. If it weren't for this marriage proposal, he wouldn't have been able to request these expensive and high-grade items from his family. Qin Tai was tempted by these items, but only tempted. He already understood his daughter's intentions. Qin Tai's face turned expressionless. "I'm sorry, young Master Yi. Xie already has someone she loves and her heart belongs to someone else. I'm afraid we cannot enter into a marriage alliance. I'm sorry, take back all these betrothal gifts. My Qin family cannot form a marriage alliance with the Yi family." The smiles on Yi Fan's face froze instantly, leaving him speechless. They actually refused. The reason for the refusal was exactly the same as the reason given by the Mu family of the City Lord's mansion in the demon capital last time. Both times, she already had someone she loved. Yi Fan's face darkened. "City Lord Qin, in this world, only my Yi family can cure your daughter's constitution problem. If she marries me, I will naturally help Qin Xie solve her constitution problem. But if she marries someone else, she is destined to be troubled by her constitution problem for the rest of her life." Qin Tai shook his head, indifferently saying, "It's alright, Xie is already used to it and doesn't care about her constitution anymore." Yi Fan's face turned ugly. He had proposed twice and been rejected twice, first at the Mu family, and now at the Qin family. He was utterly disgracing the Yi family. Unlike Yi Fan's impatient state, the elderly man remained calm and unhurried, smiling. "Patriarch Qin, you say your daughter has someone she loves, but I'm certain they're not together yet, are they? As long as they're not together, it doesn't matter. After marrying my young master, your daughter will fall in love with him. There's no one in this world more outstanding than my young master." Qin Tai shook his head. "No, that person is far more outstanding than young Master Yi." Yi Fan chuckled, his eyes filled with disdain. "Impossible." Swoosh. At this moment, a spatial rift formed outside the City Lord's mansion. Yun Bing, Mu Qingsu, and Xiao Ye emerged from it. Qin Tai sensed their arrival, and a joyful smile immediately appeared on his rugged face. He stood up and smiled. "Young Master Yi, Xie's sweetheart has arrived." Ignoring Yi Fan and the elderly man, Qin Tai went directly out of the City Lord's mansion to greet Xiao Ye and the other two. Yi Fan scoffed, arrogantly saying, "I'd like to see who that trash is." Qin Tai welcomed Yun Bing, Mu Qingsu, and Xiao Ye into the main hall of the City Lord's mansion. When Yi Fan saw Xiao Ye and Mu Qingsu, he was dumbfounded. How could it be him? Yi Fan exclaimed in shock. This person was his nightmare. Chapter 309 Brother Xiao, Xie is in the small forest behind the mountain. Since his defeat, the news had spread throughout the capital, making him the subject of much ridicule and gossip. Every gathering he attended would involve mentioning Xiao Ye, much to his annoyance. He suffered from recurring nightmares, the scene of his defeat reliving in his dreams each night, waking him in a cold sweat. Therefore, upon seeing Xiao Ye, Yi Fan felt a sudden chill, his body tensing, his eyes bloodshot. Xiao Ye was somewhat surprised. "It's you? That defeated opponent." Mu Qingsu looked thoughtfully at the betrothal gifts in the air. "They've come to propose marriage to the Qin family." Yi Fan's hostility was palpable. "HMPH, Xiao Ye, I challenge you to a duel. This time, I will surely win. A powerful force surged from him, spreading outwards. Second level of the Venerable Realm. Xiao Ye picked at his ear, and the aura of an 8th level Venerable Realm expert exploded outwards, directly crushing Ye Fan's power. He said, "What did you just say? I didn't hear you clearly." A force like a whirlwind swept over, almost blowing Ye Fan away. He was only saved by Elder Yi. Ye Fan's face froze, his eyes glazed over, and he said in disbelief, 8th level Venerable Realm? How is that possible? It's only been a short time, and he's already advanced to a high level Venerable. In less than 10 days, he had advanced from the 1st level of the Venerable Realm to the 2nd level, which had made him complacent and rekindle his shattered invincible spirit. But Xiao Ye completely crushed him, shattering his invincible spirit once again. Bang! It shattered. Mu Qingsu said disdainfully, "Hey, red-haired bastard, didn't you want to challenge Xiao Ye? Go for it. What's with standing there in a daze? Got scared? Red-haired bastard?" Ye Fan's face darkened. This was the first time he had been called that. HMPH. A good man doesn't fight with a woman. Xiao Ye, one day I will defeat you. City Lord Qin, farewell. Ye Fan felt he couldn't stay any longer. He put away the betrothal gifts in the air, flashed out of the city lord's mansion, and entered his carriage in the pavilion. The elderly man slapped his forehead and waved his hand, pulling Ye Fan back. He said, "City Lord Qin, you said your daughter already has someone she likes. That person wouldn't happen to be Xiao Ye, would it?" Qin Tai nodded matter-of-factly, "Yes, it's brother Xiao." Ye Fan's eyes widened in anger. Xiao Ye, again. Is Xiao Ye the one who steals other people's fiancés? How despicable. The elderly man's lips twitched. He carefully examined Xiao Ye, then examined Ye Fan, his eyes darting back and forth between the two. Finally, he concluded that whether in appearance, temperament, or talent as a beast tamer, Xiao Ye far surpassed Ye Fan, completely overwhelming him. His young master had bright red hair, and if it weren't for his flamboyant attire, he would look like a showy loser. Of course, he would never say these words aloud. Ye Fan noticed the contempt in old Master Yi's eyes, and his anger intensified, almost reaching its breaking point. The elderly man questioned, "This young man has already entered into a contract. Do you want your daughter to become a mistress who can't be seen in public?" Qin Tai laughed, "That's our own business. Old Master Yi doesn't need to worry about it." The elderly man's face darkened, "You're not putting the Yi family of the capital in." Before he could finish speaking, Ye Fan interrupted him, leaning closer and whispering, "I've checked the information. This Xiao Ye is very strange. He can contract multiple beast girls. Including Mu Qingsu, he has already contracted 4 beast girls." The elderly man choked. Qin Tai laughed heartily, "Ha ha ha, Elder Yi, young Master Yi, brother Xiao and I have important matters to discuss, so we won't keep you any longer. Please leave. A childhood betrothal is just a verbal agreement, without any legal force. Since it's not suitable, there's no need to force it. Butler, see them out." The Qin family butler politely said, "Young Master Yi, Elder Yi, although the betrothal is null and void, the friendship between our two families will not change." Ye Fan, his face dark, slunk away without looking back. The elderly man snorted coldly, gave Xiao Ye a meaningful look, and also left. Mu Qingsu sneered, "This kind of scum dares to challenge my man? He should look in the mirror and see what he's made of." Qin Tai, his face apologetic, said, "I'm sorry for taking up everyone's time." Xiao Ye waved his hand, "It's all right, but I have a question I'd like to ask. Uncle Qin, who is your daughter's sweetheart?" Mu Qingsu and Yunbing's gazes converged, carrying a hint of danger. Qin Tai was a little embarrassed, scratching his head and saying, "I'm sorry for using brother Xiao as a shield." He knew Xiao's feelings, but Xiao's happiness was something she had to grasp herself. As her father, he couldn't be so blunt, it wouldn't do to cause a bad impact. Mu Qingsu and Yunbing breathed a sigh of relief. Xiao Ye shrugged, unconcerned, "I've already been a shield once, so being one again won't matter. Uncle Qin, let's go to your daughter's place now and ask about her treatment template. The sooner we resolve it, the better." Seeing that he didn't seem to blame him, Qin Tai's eyes lit up, and he admired Xiao Ye even more. Brother Xiao truly has vision, he deserves to be called the #1 among the younger generation. With Xiao with him, he felt at ease. Qin Tai waved his hand and took out a box filled with restrictive runes, handing it to Xiao Ye. This box contains 2 crystal fragments of creation-type rules, the healing items Brother Xiao told me about. As for my daughter, she's currently in the small forest behind the city, waiting for Brother Xiao. Could Brother Xiao go alone to treat her? He was creating an opportunity for Qin Zhe to be alone with Xiao Ye. Xiao Ye took the rune box and nodded. The small forest behind the city, okay. Xiao Ye didn't think much of it, only wanting to quickly solve Qin Zhe's template problem, complete the system task, and get the task reward. Qin Tai smiled. Yes, then we'll wait here for Brother Xiao and Zhe to return successfully. Yun Bing said, Xiao Ye, go ahead. The city lord's mansion is very safe. If all else fails, just take out the bronze hall and smash people, even a supreme being could be killed. Xiao Ye's lips twitched, and he walked out of the back door of the main hall with a pigeon-toed gait, leaping towards the small forest behind the city lord's mansion. In the small forest behind the mountain, Qin Zhe, completely naked and bathing, was soaking in the stream because Xiao Ye had arrived at the city lord's mansion more than an hour early. A she-wolf came to drink from the stream and casually snatched her small panties and light skirt from a clean stone slab. Qin Zhe wasn't paying attention and didn't see it. At the entrance to the back mountain, Xiao Ye recalled his surroundings and landed on the path leading to the small forest entrance. After going 50 meters in, he encountered the Grandmaster level she-wolf who was running around. Seeing that Xiao Ye's aura was powerful and not to be trifled with, the she-wolf tossed her head and threw what she was carrying in her mouth at Xiao Ye's face, then ran away in a flash. A hidden weapon. Xiao Ye reacted quickly, catching the thrown object with his right hand. Looking at it, he was immediately dumbfounded. This looks like Qin Zhe's, a small kawaii pattern, smells good. Where is Qin Zhe? I'll take the thing back to her. Chapter 310 Qin Zhe, if you like it, look at it a little longer. The white dress was light and airy, giving off an ethereal and refined feel. It would probably look stunning on someone. Xiao Ye, carrying 3 hidden weapons, followed the forest path deeper into the woods. Having learned from his previous experience in the grove, Xiao Ye's destination was the stream. About 5 minutes later, after passing through the grove path, the view suddenly opened up, revealing a 10-meter wide stream. Beneath a huge, ancient tree, there was a clean, flat stone slab about 3 meters in size. Xiao Ye's gaze fell into the stream, instantly captivated by a patch of fair skin reflected in it, his eyes widening in disbelief. Because the water was crystal clear, the underwater scenery was easily visible. When Xiao Ye stepped onto the stone slab, crouched down, and rested his chin on his hand, Qin Zhe noticed him. She let out a startled cry, her face flushing red with embarrassment, her whole body burning. You pervert. Xiao Ye, turn your head away. A hint of stubbornness flashed across Qin Zhe's delicate, rosy face. Xiao Ye shrugged and, as she wished, looked away. Then, Qin Zhe saw the 3-piece set in Xiao Ye's hand, cute underwear and a white dress, and was shocked. You actually stole my clothes, a melodious, incredulous voice rang out. At that moment, the upright and noble image of Xiao Ye in Qin Zhe's mind collapsed. It was replaced by a sleazy, thuggish impression. She instantly felt lost. Xiao Ye was actually this kind of person. Xiao Ye's face darkened. Don't slander me. A white wolf just stole my clothes, I just happened to be there. Who am I? I'm Xiao Ye. Would I do such a thing? A white wolf? Qin Zhe suddenly realized. She had bathed in this stream more than once, and the captive white wolf had stolen her clothes to play pranks on her more than once. That white wolf was quite intelligent and was her pet. Qin Zhe's expression brightened. Xiao Ye, I knew you weren't that kind of person. That wolf is called Xiao Bai, it often plays pranks on me, and this isn't the first time it's stolen my clothes. Qin Zhe's impression of Xiao Ye instantly shifted back to that of an upright, dignified, and incredibly warm-hearted man. Xiao Ye smiled. Looks like that white wolf is a pervert. Qin Zhe replied, that's a female wolf. Xiao Ye. With a grown man standing not far away, Qin Zhe felt incredibly safe. This man had solved her physical problems and brought her comfort and happiness. Splash. Qin Zhe splashed in the stream, saying, Xiao Ye, can you wait a moment? I'll be right there. Xiao Ye secretly glanced over and actually saw the forbidden scenery. Sorry. He quickly turned back. What? Qin Zhe didn't see his movement and thought he was talking about the clothes. Just put the clothes on the stone slab. Xiao Ye gently tossed them, and the three-piece set floated lightly onto the huge stone slab. Splash! 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 The sound of splashing water echoed behind him, making Xiao Ye's heart itch. I came here to help you completely solve your physical problems, not to peep at you while you bathe. Can you hurry up? The splashing water was Xie swimming towards the shore like a dog. In less than 10 seconds, she was ashore. She was a little shy and slowly walked behind Xiao Ye, not bothering to put on the clothes on the stone slab, standing there naked. Xie raised her hand and touched Xiao Ye's back with her fingers, saying crisply, I know. Daddy has already notified me. Xiao Ye, I'm done bathing, I'm all clean, I promise I won't smell. She struggled internally for a moment, then made up her mind and said, you can look all you want, anyway, the treatment requires massaging all the acupoints on the body. With permission, Xiao Ye turned around and was shocked to find Xie lying naked on the clean stone slab. She stood there, arms and legs spread wide, and said shyly, Xiao Ye, you go ahead. Xiao Ye. Solving template problems is different from solving physical defects. It doesn't require taking off clothes or using secret massage techniques. The patient can stand, squat, or even do a handstand, there's no need to lie down. He slapped his forehead. He hadn't explained clearly, it was his fault. However, since Xie had no objections, he wouldn't correct this trivial mistake. I'm going. Xiao Ye took out a box covered in restrictive runes, opened it, and took out the 2 creation-type rule fragment crystals inside. He threw them out, and they hovered quietly 10 centimeters above Xie. Xie's eyes were closed, her skin flushed, and she said crisply, go ahead, I can handle it. Xiao Ye activated the template repair function of the template adjuster. A supreme, vast, and profound power descended upon Xie, and the 2 creation-type rule fragment crystals automatically entered her body. Under the influence of supreme power, these 2 fragments of rules transformed into the purest power of rules, permeating every aspect of Xie's delicate body, macroscopically her torso, and microscopically her cells, genetic factors, and genes. This power of creation, possessing a neutralizing effect, acts as a stabilizer for other attribute rules, ensuring the template's stability. The auspicious and cursed powers deep within her genes attempted to suppress each other, but were quickly stabilized by the power of creation, reaching a balance. The auspicious and cursed powers throughout her body softened and stabilized. Xie felt incredibly comfortable, a comfort so profound that she let out a shy, pleasurable moan. Template repair successful, exploration function activated, SSS level avoid beast template, blessing of fortune. The blessed person will receive the favor of auspicious power, increasing good luck and bringing a surge in fortune. The strength of the blessing can be controlled. Curse of misfortune triggers the power of curses, cursing enemies and causing them to suffer continuous misfortune. The strength of the curse can be controlled. Xiao Ye, chewing on a blade of grass, squatted on the edge of the stone slab, examining Xie's template and analyzing some things. These 2 talent skills can only control the strength of the blessing and curse, but cannot control the specific blessing or curse. They cannot make someone's luck good or bad. For example, they can only curse an enemy with misfortune, making them unlucky, but the way they suffer is uncontrollable. They cannot make an enemy fall to their death while walking. Xie felt very comfortable, but she didn't feel Xiao Ye giving her a full-body acupressure massage, so she opened her eyes to see what Xiao Ye was doing. As a result, she saw Xiao Ye staring intently at her delicate body, motionless, completely absorbed. The shyness that had faded from Xie's pretty face returned, and she asked curiously, is it pretty? Xiao Ye was looking at the template. But upon hearing the pleasant voice, he shifted his gaze and met her beautiful eyes. Is it pretty? Xie asked again, her voice filled with anticipation. Xiao Ye carefully examined her and nodded, pretty. Xie's figure was better than Mu Qingxi's and Cheng Bingxi's, but not as terrifying as Nanguang Xiao's, Liu Ya's, or Yun Bing's. If it's pretty, you can look at it a little longer. Xie covered her face with her hands, feeling a secret joy inside, and blurted out the words almost unconsciously. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 311 Terrifying Talent Skills. What are you looking at? Do you think I'm that kind of person? Xiao Ye handed her two soft, thin, kawaii patterned panties on the stone slab, saying, "Put these on. Your health problem is completely resolved, you're all better now." "You're all better?" Xie happily took the clothes, still warm from Xiao Ye's hands. Along with her joy, however, a slight sense of lust lingered. Xiao Ye hadn't even given her a massage yet. Xiao Ye turned away, and she rustled as she dressed. "Xiao Ye, how can I ever repay you?" Standing gracefully on the stone slab, Xie's white dress made her appear ethereal. A blush rose on her delicate face as she spoke in a clear, sweet voice. Xiao Ye waved his hand. "No need for repayment, your father has already given the reward. You can feel your own template and try using your innate skills. If nothing unexpected happens, you can now control your innate skills freely, unlike before when they would be uncontrollably activated unconsciously." "Okay." Xie closed her eyes, activated her awakening power, and insights into her innate skills automatically flooded her mind. There were two innate skills in total. One was the power of blessing, and the other was the power of curse. These two innate skills were like her body, which she could use at will. "Xiao Ye, really? I truly possess two innate skills now. Before, I had no innate skills at all, only a high cultivation level." She was overjoyed, her delicate and pretty face beaming with smiles. From now on, Xie can interact with others like a normal person. "Xiao Ye, thank you." Xie looked grateful and excitedly rushed towards Xiao Ye, giving him a loving hug. Sensing her joy, Xiao Ye gently patted her back and said warmly, "You're welcome." Xie hugged him tightly, reluctant to let go. She felt she had never been so happy in her life. Today was the happiest and most relaxed day in recent years. And all of this was thanks to Xiao Ye. Xiao Ye had given her a new life. Naturally, a strange feeling arose in Xie's heart for this man, a feeling that made her heart beat faster involuntarily. Oh no, this is the feeling of being smitten. She wanted to hold him like this forever. After being hugged for over 2 minutes, Xiao Ye felt the embrace tighten, the soft flesh pressed against his body. He pushed her away, staring directly into her beautiful eyes, and said, "Miss Qin, it's not proper for men and women to touch each other. Isn't it inappropriate for you to keep hugging me like this?" Xie's pretty face flushed red, her eyes darting away shyly as she said, "If it's Xiao Ye, I don't mind." Xiao Ye's lips twitched. He knew this was bad. This was a sign that the little girl was starting to succumb. It was clearly a sign that a young woman was in heat. Miss Qin, you could try using your innate skill. Speaking of which, I'm quite curious about how your skill will work. Auspicious power and curse power are both very rare attribute categories. Combining them, and having both in one person, makes it even rarer and more precious." Xie pouted, dissatisfied, "Calling me Miss Qin is too formal." Xiao Ye's lips twitched. "Then how about I call you Xie?" Xie shook her head, a little shyly saying, "Just call me Xie." "Xie," Xiao Ye said. It was just a form of address, it didn't mean anything, and Xiao Ye naturally changed the form of address. Xie smiled, her pretty face blooming like a beautiful flower, and excitedly said, "Xiao Ye, I'll go find a guinea pig to test my innate skill." Who should we find? Daddy or? She didn't want Xiao Ye to be a guinea pig, her first choice was her father, Qin Tai. At this moment, near the path, a mother wolf walked towards the stream, appearing in Xie and Xiao Ye's field of vision. Xie's beautiful eyes lit up. She raised her delicate white hand and beckoned, saying, "Little White, come here quickly. I'll play something fun with you, you'll definitely like it." The white wolf had already developed intelligence, comparable to a human child. It could understand human speech. Seeing its master, Xie, beckoning to it, it wagged its tail and ran over happily. Woof woof woof. It joyfully jumped into Xie's arms, then looked at Xiao Ye with a wary gaze. Xiao Ye. It was this she-wolf who threw him the hidden weapon, almost ruining his reputation. So Xiao Ye spoke up, "Xie, this is the test subject. This white wolf looks a bit silly, perfect as a guinea pig. Let's try casting the curse on it with a small amount of force first." Xie chuckled mischievously, saying with ill intent, "Little White, Xiao Ye said you're perfect as a test subject, so you definitely are. You'll have to put in the effort, okay?" The white wolf's fur bristled instantly, its limbs kicking wildly as it tried to escape, but how could it break free from Xie's embrace, a 6th-level venerable realm cultivator? The curse of misfortune, minimum power, innate skill activated, and a mysterious and unpredictable power enveloped the little white wolf. Xie released the white wolf, and after landing, the wolf leaped, trying to jump over the 10-meter stream on the stone slab and head towards the other bank. But when it pushed off with all its might, the clean stone slab caused it to slip, and the wolf plunged into the stream with a splash. Its fur was soaked, making it a drenched wolf. Woof woof woof. The white wolf was speechless. It had jumped here tens of thousands of times before, and this was the first time it had slipped and fallen into the water. Somewhat defiant, it returned to the stone slab and leaped towards the opposite bank. Whoosh! It traversed a beautiful parabola, successfully crossing and landing smoothly on the other side. The white wolf raised its head proudly, shook the water off its fur, and smugly left. Xiao Ye's lips twitched. This was quite a unique female wolf. He noticed something. The curse's power was very subtle, but careful perception revealed that the curse's power was still present when the white wolf jumped the first time, but dissipated after it hit the water. However, the clean stone slab shouldn't be slippery, yet the female wolf slipped. Therefore, Xie's curse of misfortune was a conceptual talent skill. Once cursed, even with unfavorable environmental conditions and the cursed person's best efforts to avoid it, misfortune was inevitable. The power of the curse is such, and correspondingly, the power of the auspicious blessing should be about the same. It's unavoidable, it's bound to happen. Hiss. Upon reaching this conclusion, Xiao Ye gasped, terrifying. Huh? Xie was quite satisfied with her innate skills, but was somewhat bewildered by Xiao Ye's words. It was just a slip, is it that scary? If these two skills are used well, they can have unexpected effects, even turning the tide of battle. Xiao Ye patted her shoulder. I've tried the power of the curse. Now try the power of the blessing. Xie nodded. Auspicious blessing, increases good fortune, luck explodes, maximum power. She raised her hand over herself and Xiao Ye, using her blessing innate skill. A mysterious and unpredictable power emerged from her body, enveloping her and Xiao Ye. Chapter 312 Kidnapped a Stunning Beast Girl. This power is extremely mysterious and unique, and difficult to detect. Its luck, fortune, and destiny are intertwined. This mysterious thing called luck is far more advanced than spatial or temporal ones. Even with his spatial perception, Xiao Ye could only vaguely sense something new on his body as auspicious energy descended upon him. This thing was impossible to capture or dispel, impossible to touch, and impossible to see. Ugh! Xie used her auspicious blessing talent skill at its maximum power, feeling her auspicious energy completely drained, and her spirit becoming exhausted. Dizzy and unsteady, she almost fell to the ground. Xiao Ye helped her up, preventing her from collapsing. This talent skill seems to have no upper limit on its consumption, it completely drains it, Xie said, her pretty face flushed with embarrassment. Drained in just 1 second? Xiao Ye was somewhat surprised, increasingly feeling that this kind of destiny-related talent skill was terrifying, not only for its outstanding effect but also for its astonishing consumption. Seeing Xie's embarrassed expression, he comforted her, it's just that you're not used to it the first time. After using it a few more times, you'll be able to control the energy consumption freely. Besides, the greater the energy consumption, the better the effect of this talent skill. Comforted, Xie's low spirits lifted. Xiao Ye looked at Xie and himself, and asked curiously, I wonder what will happen when luck increases. Task, help Xie solve the template problem. The task has been completed. The task reward is being distributed and has been placed in the system space. Please check it yourself. Task reward, rule level treasure finding pointer. The system's cold, mechanical notification sounded in his mind. Xiao Ye was overjoyed. He had obtained another rule level treasure. With this treasure, finding template upgrade resources would become much easier and more convenient. He wouldn't have to worry about not finding upgrade resources anymore. At this moment, he put his good luck out of his mind and said, the matter is resolved. Let's go back together. I need to report back to Uncle Qin. The two returned all the way back, leaving the small woods behind the mountain and returning to the main hall of the city lord's mansion. Inside the main hall of the city lord's mansion, Yunbing and Mu Qingsu leisurely sipped their tea, while Qin Tai, on the contrary, was anxious, wanting to know how his daughter was doing. The physical problem stemmed from the template issue. Could Brother Xiao resolve it in one go? If even the slightest mistake occurred, would it affect his daughter and cause other physical problems? Seeing him pacing back and forth in the hall, Yun Bing smiled and said, City Lord Qin, there's no need to worry. Xiao Ye can even solve the template problem for someone as powerful as me. Miss Qin is only at the venerable realm, resolving her template problem will be even easier. Qin Tai's anxiety lessened somewhat, and he nodded, I believe in Brother Xiao's abilities. At this moment, two people emerged from the back door of the city lord's mansion. The man was handsome and extraordinary, the woman graceful and elegant. It was Xiao Ye and Qin Zir. Uncle Qin, I have fulfilled my mission. All the problems have been resolved. We no longer need to worry about the physical problem. Xiao Ye said. A magnetic male voice entered his ears. And Qin Tai rushed to Qin Zir's side. After carefully examining and sensing her, he exclaimed with great joy and excitement, it's gone. That faint sense of threat is completely gone. Zir, your physical problem is really cured. He excitedly grasped Qin Zir's hands, his hands trembling with emotion, and 2 streams of tears even flowed down his rugged face. But even with tears in his eyes were filled with joy. For 10 years, ever since Zir awakened her template 10 years ago and her physical problem appeared, she has been plagued by it. In these 10 years, I have visited every medical family, traveled all over the country, and tried countless methods, but none of them had any effect. Everyone secretly said that my daughter was a jinx, a scourge. As he spoke, heartache, exhaustion, and helplessness appeared in his eyes. The dignified city lord of a top-tier base city shed tears in front of everyone. Xiao Ye, Yun Bing, and Mu Qingsu watched, finding neither strange nor funny. As the saying goes, men don't easily shed tears, unless they're truly heartbroken. Once the most vulnerable chord in one's heart is touched, both men and women will shed tears, one audibly, the other silently. Qin Zir, infected by her father's emotions, also became teary-eyed, giving her a pitiful and endearing appearance. Her delicate, pitiful face was streaked with snot, long enough to catch fish. Whoosh! She sniffled sharply, the snot back in. Father and daughter held hands, shedding tears to vent their emotions, and within 2 minutes they returned to normal, their hearts filled with joy and happiness. Zir, wipe your nose, it's too ugly. Qin Tai tidied himself up, then joked. Ah! Qin Zir used her spiritual power to examine herself, screamed, covered her face, and ran into the bathroom. Qin Tai walked up to Xiao Ye, knelt down, and bowed to him gratefully, saying, Brother Xiao, from now on, you are my brother. I will remember this kindness. If you need anything, just come to me. No matter how many things, as long as I can do it, I will help you. That token, whether you use it or not is fine. Xiao Ye helped him up, smiling faintly. Just one thing is enough, this is the agreed upon reward. Alright, your daughter's template problem is solved, we should go back now. Yun Bing nodded, directly tearing open a spatial rift in the open space of the city lord's mansion, and then using her spatial teleportation talent skill to create a stable and safe spatial passage within it. See you again. Xiao Ye waved, about to follow Yun Bing into the spatial rift. Xiao Ye, wait. A melodious voice came from not far away. Qin Zir ran over anxiously, asking, can I come with you? Yun Bing and Mu Qingsu's eyes widened. What was going on? Xiao Ye, that bastard, just treated a template problem and ended up kidnapping a stunningly beautiful beast girl? Cough cough. Xiao Ye almost choked on his saliva. Zir, you'd better explain clearly what you mean by come with me, or I'll get beaten up by multiple women. Sure enough, as he predicted, Yun Bing and Mu Qingsu looked at him with dangerous eyes. Why? Qin Zir blushed. After developing feelings for Xiao Ye, she didn't want to separate from him so quickly. Qin Tai frowned. He could see his daughter's thoughts, so he spoke up. Brother Xiao, Zir didn't have many friends before, and she hasn't experienced advanced studies at a Beast Tamer's academy. She wants to go to Kunpeng Academy with you. Qin Zir's beautiful eyes lit up. Yes, I want to go to Kunpeng Academy with Xiao Ye to study. Qin Tai continued, Big Sister Kunpeng, I have a small request, and I hope you can grant it. Let Zir become an external student at Kunpeng Academy. Let her live and study with Xiao Ye, how about that? She's been out of touch with society for too long and needs to reintegrate. Chapter 313 Rule Level Treasure Hunting Pointer, Treasure Hunt Successful. Yun Bing was taken aback and said, arranging someone as an external student is certainly possible. However, Miss Qin's cultivation level and age far exceed the Kunpeng Academy's admission standards, especially her cultivation level, which is already at the 6th level of the Venerable Realm. Even if she goes to Kunpeng Academy, she won't learn much. It's better for her to be guided by her elders in the family. Qin Tai smiled and said, "It's alright, the main thing is to let Xie integrate into society." Yun Bing thought for a moment and readily agreed, saying, "No problem, Miss Qin can come to Kunpeng Academy anytime." With her authority as the vice dean, arranging for Qin Xie to enroll was just a matter of a word. Qin Xie's beautiful eyes lit up, and she became overjoyed. Xiao Ye asked curiously, "How old is her?" Mu Kingsa glared at Xiao Ye. "Why did you call her so intimately? You call me proud little girl. There must be something going on between you two." Qin Xie stammered, looking at Xiao Ye nervously, and said, I'm 28 years old. I've been awakening my template for 10 years. Does that make me an old auntie?" Xiao Ye's lips twitched. She was actually 28 years old, 10 years older than him. Xie is a few years older, but she has almost zero social experience, even less than you. She's been confined to her home for the past 10 years, and aside from those medical experts, she only has a handful of people she regularly interacts with, Qin Tai explained. "Don't let her age fool you, her mental age is only 18. Xiao Ye nodded thoughtfully. Mu Kingsa smiled and said, "Then Qin Xie will come with us. We'll take care of her." Qin Tai clasped his hands in thanks. Xiao Ye waved his hand, "You spoiled brat, she just solved the template problem and definitely needs to spend some time with her family first. Why are you in such a hurry to bring her to Kunpeng Academy?" Yun Bing said, "Indeed, Miss Qin is welcome to come to Kunpeng Academy anytime." Qin Tai looked at Qin Xie and asked, "Xie, when do you want to go to Kunpeng Academy?" Qin Xie looked at Xiao Ye, then at Qin Tai, and finally made up her mind, saying, "I want to go to Kunpeng Academy with Xiao Ye to study now." "Daddy, you'll come to Kunpeng Academy to see me, right?" Qin Tai's face darkened. His daughter had fallen in love and wanted to go with Xiao Ye right away. She was so naive that she was being sold out, and she'd probably even be counting the money for the seller. However, he trusted Xiao Ye and believed that Xiao Ye wouldn't do anything to hurt Qin Xie. "Yes." Qin Tai nodded in response to Qin Xie's words, took out a storage ring and personally put it on her hand, explaining, "This is not only a storage ring, but also a supreme-level perfected offensive and defensive item. It also contains 10 teleportation talismans. Crush them and you'll return to my side. Go with peace of mind. Come back anytime you miss home. If you missed me, you can use your mental energy to vibrate the storage ring. I'll sense it and come to see you." After giving her instructions, Qin Xie followed Xiao Ye, Yun Bing, and Mu Kingsa into the spatial rift. Through the spatial passage, they arrived at Villa number 2 in the number 1 Lakeside Villa district of Kunpeng Academy. "Xiao Ye, Qin Xie can stay in your villa for now. Once the formalities are completed, we'll arrange another villa for her." Yun Bing lazily lay on the sofa, kicking off her shoes and placing her delicate feet directly on the table. Xiao Ye nodded. Living with Xiao Ye, was this cohabitation? Qin Xie felt excited, her pretty face slightly flushed. "Qin Xie, you haven't explored Kunpeng Academy yet, have you? Let me show you around and help you get familiar with the environment." Mu Kingsa grabbed Qin Xie's hand and ran straight out of the villa. Yun Bing saw that Xiao Ye hadn't left, her beautiful eyes lit up. "What, aren't you going back to see your other beast girls? Want to stay and kick me? Kick you? Are you addicted to being kicked? What kind of lewd words are you spouting?" Xiao Ye's lips twitched, and he took out the mission reward he had obtained this time, a rule-level treasure finder. Seeing that he didn't speak, Yun Bing placed her jade feet on his lap and said, "If you don't speak, I'll take it as your consent. HMPH, now that you've become my contractor, you have to satisfy me. Today, you're not leaving." Xiao Ye didn't listen, he was examining the treasure finder, a rule-level treasure, on the same level as the Zhuan Huang gem. It was a treasure shaped like a compass, with only one blue pointer, its outer shell heavy and radiating blue light, exuding an ancient and vicissitudes. Detailed introduction of the rule-level treasure-finding pointer. Treasure-finding function, can find everything that exists in the world, including people, supreme treasures, rare and precious materials, soul bodies, spiritual bodies, secret realms, spatial nodes, rule bodies, etc. Navigation function, can automatically navigate routes and provide routes and spatial nodes. The treasure-finding function, but this function is very powerful, capable of finding everything in the world. He. Xiao Ye chuckled evilly. With this supreme treasure, what in the world couldn't he find? Let's try it out first. The treasure finding pointer automatically recognizes its master. Master recognition successful. Master, Xiao Ye. Xiao Ye felt a mysterious connection between himself and the treasure finding pointer. Please describe the characteristics of the searched item. The treasure finding pointer has no intelligence, but it has its own internal, self-running logic, which is rather mechanical. Xiao Ye looked at Yunbing and described to the treasure finding pointer, 2 large watermelons hanging on her chest, Vice-Dean of Kunpeng Academy. After the description, the treasure finding pointer shone with blue light, and a mysterious chain emerged from it, entered the void, and then emerged from the void again, linking to Yunbing. Treasure hunt successful. Navigation function activated automatically. A 3D navigation map was transmitted to Xiao Ye's mind. The map contained a blue dot, a blue arrow, and a red dot. The blue dot represented his current location, the blue arrow indicated direction, and the red dot indicated Yunbing's location. Xiao Ye leaned towards Yunbing and kissed her. The blue and red dots on the navigation map merged. Navigation successful. The treasure hunt pointer transmitted the message. The mysterious chain in the void also disappeared. Yunbing was completely unaware of the mysterious chain's existence, only Xiao Ye could see it. Having been kissed, Yunbing's beautiful eyes widened. Because her mouth was covered, she mumbled, "So thirsty, huh? It's not even night yet, and you're already impatient? Well, Xiao Ye, you asked for this." Xiao Ye exclaimed, "No. You misunderstood." Yunbing didn't care and pounced on Xiao Ye. Several hours later, Yunbing proudly raised her head and walked into the bathroom, leaving a exhausted Xiao Ye behind. Xiao Ye's face was dark. What a disaster. He was completely outmatched. Lying on the sofa, to soothe his wounded spirit, he activated the treasure hunting pointer's function again, describing it as reincarnation type attribute magical beast, Grandmaster realm. The description was extremely rough, only mentioning a name without any specific characteristics. Buzz buzz buzz. The treasure hunting pointer emitted a dazzling blue light, and a chain emerged from it, entering the void. In an ancient secret realm, a mysterious chain emerged from the void, linking to a magical beast that was defecating. Treasure hunt successful. Navigation function automatically activated. The message arrived, and Xiao Ye was overjoyed. Reincarnation type magical beasts really existed. Chapter 314 The Ancient Secret Realm where reincarnation type attribute monsters occur. A 3D navigation map was projected directly into Xiao Ye's mind by the treasure hunting pointer. The map contained no buildings, only special coordinates and nodes. The starting point was the blue dot where Xiao Ye was, and the destination was the red dot where the reincarnation type magical beast was located, with a blue arrow between them, 007. This was the special coordinate of the reincarnation type magical beast, which was also the special coordinate of the red dot. Xiao Ye was completely bewildered by the navigation map. He didn't understand special nodes or special coordinates yet. Spatial nodes and special coordinates could only be initially understood at the Supreme Realm level. Only at the Supreme Realm could one tear through space and use special nodes to quickly traverse the void. Unless one was a space-type Beast Tamer or Beast Girl, spatial jumps were impossible. Even if one tore through space, they could only escape to the other side of space, quickly traversing the void there until reaching the destination special coordinates, and then tearing through space again to return to reality. The other side of space was empty space, without obstacles, allowing for rapid travel much faster than in reality, where there were buildings, air resistance, and rules that reduced speed. Only beast masters, beast girls, summoned beasts, and magical beasts with special attributes can perform special jumps, reaching the destination special node from the starting point in a few seconds. Whereas, 007. Xiao Ye looked at the special coordinates the blue arrow passed through. There were 12 special nodes, 234, 123, 014. His current special coordinates were 456. The red dot special coordinates had exclamation marks, while the others did not. Xiao Ye couldn't understand these special coordinates. However, following the direction of the blue arrow, Xiao Ye went to the window and looked outside, discovering that this direction led towards the imperial capital base city. At this moment, Yunbing, wearing only a bath towel, walked out of the bathroom. The white towel barely covered the key parts of her curvaceous figure, leaving the rest completely exposed, her long, round, white legs gleaming. Yunbing, Head held high, said smugly, Xiao Ye, I'm satisfied. You can go back now. Xiao Ye's face darkened. His body had undergone an upgrade and evolution, but Yunbing's template had also evolved after the upgrade, improving their life level. Their body levels weren't that different, and the difference in their cultivation levels was too great. He couldn't defeat her now. Only an ox can die from exhaustion, not land that's been overflown. I definitely have to go back, but before that, I have a question for you, Xiao Ye said seriously. Yunbing stopped joking. What is it? Xiao Ye asked. 007. Where is it? Yunbing was somewhat surprised, exclaiming, this is the coordinate of a secret realm behind a special interlayer within the Dragon Kingdom Supreme Alliance headquarters area. The corresponding real-world coordinates are 007, within the Supreme Alliance headquarters in the Imperial Capital City. Is there a problem? It was indeed in the Imperial Capital, marked with an exclamation mark. It was the special coordinate of a secret realm. Xiao Ye cut to the chase. This secret realm contains a group of magical beasts with reincarnation-type attributes. Yunbing frowned. Are you sure? Xiao Ye took out a rule-level treasure hunting pointer and nodded. I'm absolutely certain. This is a treasure hunting pointer. It can find anything in the world. As long as you can describe the name or characteristics of the thing you're looking for, and it exists in the world, you can find it. Wow, that's amazing. Yunbing felt her eyes had been opened and her knowledge had increased. She took the treasure hunting pointer, her slender white fingers carefully examining it. It contains complete power of rules, the power of rules as one, and the outer material is extremely ancient, at least 20,000 years old. This is at least a quasi-emperor level treasure. Analyzing it, Yunbing's beautiful eyes widened in disbelief. Xiao Ye, where did you get so many treasures? I've lived for 1,500 years, and I don't even have a single treasure above the supreme level. Even the ancient families with long histories probably don't have many quasi-emperor level treasures. But you've acquired one high-level treasure after another. Xiao Ye remained expressionless. And then? Yunbing's eyes burned with fervor as she stared intently at him. Tell me, are you a descendant of some hidden ancient family, or even the young master of a hidden ancient family, and I am the young mistress of a hidden ancient family? As she spoke, a smile played on her lips, and she became somewhat excited, not even noticing her bath towel slipping off. Xiao Ye's lips twitched, and he slapped her pert bottom hard, the crisp, fleshy sound ringing out. He said speechlessly, no. Don't guess wildly, I am Xiao Ye, an orphan. As for the origin of these treasures, don't bother with it. He said solemnly. Yunbing seemed to have been doused with cold water, her excitement vanished instantly, and she nodded, okay. Xiao Ye smiled, thank you. Yunbing rolled her eyes at him, what are you thanking me for? We've already signed a contract, we're husband and wife now. If I ever hear you thank me again, I'll make sure you can't get out of bed every day. Xiao Ye's face darkened, he felt his cultivation level was still too low. If he were at the Supreme Realm, he could definitely turn the tables and take control. Huh? Yunbing noticed a bath towel had come loose and deliberately pulled it open, saying, come help me lift this. Xiao Ye did as she wished. After arranging the bath towel, Yunbing returned the treasure hunting pointer to Xiao Ye, saying, those coordinates are for the Supreme Alliance's secret realm. This secret realm is also the Supreme Alliance's private realm. We can't enter it, let alone kill magical beasts to obtain rule fragment crystals. Can't we sneak in? Xiao Ye asked. Yunbing shook her head. The Supreme Alliance's leader, Ziran, is a quasi-Saint Realm expert, and there are also Saint Realm experts within the Supreme Alliance. We can't possibly sneak in without their notice. Xiao Ye frowned. This is troublesome. Ring ring. At this moment, Xiao Ye's communicator rang. He took it out and saw it was a call from Vajra Supreme Chang'an. Brother Chang, what's up? Xiao Ye answered. Vajra Supreme Chang'an replied, haha, brother Xiao, is Sister Kunpeng here? Xiao Ye glanced at Yunbing. Yes, she is. Vajra Supreme's expression changed, and he said nervously, brother Xiao, you're my brother Xiao, just call me Xiao Gang. Please don't call me brother Cheng anymore, I can't handle it. Xiao Ye's lips twitched. Okay, Xiao Gang. Cheng Gang laughed. Tomorrow is the day the Supreme Alliance expands its recruitment of Supremas. Brother Xiao, are you interested in going together and joining the Supreme Alliance? The Supreme Alliance is the only one besides the City Lord's mansion in the Imperial capital that can rival the 4 ancient families of the Imperial capital. Joining has many benefits, including resources and access to ancient secret realms for training. Access to ancient secret realms? Xiao Ye's expression brightened. He was just worried about entering the secret realm, and now he had a solution. When did his luck become so good? Chapter 315 Kinzir poisoned by aphrodisiac. Even if he's usually lucky, he's never had such incredible luck. It's like a pillow appearing just when you're sleepy. Joining the Supreme Alliance is based on the Summoned Beast's realm. As long as the Summoned Beast's realm is supreme, you're good to go. Xiao Gang, the Supreme Alliance is expanding its recruitment. I'll participate, Xiao Ye said. Vajra Supreme Chenggang laughed. Great. Brother Xiao, let's go together tomorrow. I also plan to join the Supreme Alliance, so see you at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Xiao Ye nodded. Okay. Then, Vajra Supreme Chenggang said somewhat nervously, wait. Brother Xiao, aren't you going to discuss this with Sister Kunpeng? Let me make this clear, I didn't induce you to join the Supreme Alliance, it's your own choice. Chenggang vaguely remembered that when Sister Kunpeng had a fiery temper, she would come to spar with him every week, beating him until he was bruised and swollen, and it would take him several days to recover. Xiao Ye glanced sideways at Yun Bing, who was lounging lazily on the sofa, and said into his contacts, no need to discuss it. I'm the boss in my family. If I say I'll go, I'll go. Yun Bing has to listen to me. If she dares to resist, I'll kick her to death. Chenggang, upon hearing this, widened his eyes in shock, gave a thumbs up, and said admiringly, ha ha ha, as expected of Brother Xiao. Finally, someone can subdue Sister Kunpeng, ha ha ha. Xiao Ye raised his head and said smugly, that's right. Don't you know who I am? Okay, it's settled then, we'll go together tomorrow, bye bye. After hanging up the contacts, a huge object appeared above Xiao Ye's head. He looked up, and the huge object suddenly pressed down, completely burying his head inside. Yun Bing's beautiful eyes flashed with a sharp light, and she said in a sinister tone, who do you mean to kick to death? How? Stand up and kick? Looks like I didn't make you realize what's going on earlier. Xiao Ye's vision went dark, and he felt the whole world soften. He muttered, what are you going to do? What do you think? Yun Bing ripped off the bath towel and threw it on the ground. Instant teleportation, short distance spatial jump within the field of vision and divine sense range. Xiao Ye felt his face touch something smooth and soft. He quickly used his innate skill to teleport out of the villa and arrive outside the villa gate. Then, looking flustered, he dashed outside, muttering as he ran, this is bad. Sister Yunbing has reached a stage of being like a wolf in sheep's clothing. How can I handle this? Yunbing watched him leave through the window and chuckled, am I that scary? You scared him away with just a little bit. Do you really think I'm that thirsty? At this level, I could endure not touching a man for 100 years. Join the Supreme Alliance? Whatever. The Supreme Alliance is a public force formed by some Supremas throughout the Dragon Kingdom. Joining it doesn't restrict personal freedom, but sometimes they assign missions for the Supremas to choose from, and they can receive bounties for completing them. It's similar to a summoning beast guild or a bounty guild, but the threshold is very high, only Supremas are qualified to join. In Villa number 10 of the 3-character Lakeside Villa District, Mu Kingsu took Kinzir for a stroll around the academy and then returned. After returning, she found many bottles of potions, the size of mineral water bottles, on the table in the first-floor living room. The aphrodisiacs and fertility-enhancing potions she ordered had arrived. Mu Kingsu checked the bottles. There were about 200 in total, 100 bottles of aphrodisiacs and 100 bottles of fertility-enhancing potions. Aphrodisiacs, as the name suggests, are hormone-boosting drugs. Fertility-enhancing potions are for enhancing the activity of sperm and ovaries. Each type of potion contained 10 bottles of Grandmaster-level potions, 10 bottles of Great Grandmaster-level potions, 60 bottles of Venerable-level potions, and 20 bottles of Great Venerable-level potions. There were only potions, no antidote. Ugh. At this moment, Cheng Bingxi, feeling parched, came up from the underground training room. Water, I want water. Seeing the mineral water bottle containing the potions, she grabbed one without thinking and gulped it down. Sister Bingxi, don't drink that, that's... Mu Kingsu tried to stop her, but before she could finish speaking, Cheng Bingxi had already finished the entire bottle. Cheng Bingxi patted her stomach and laughed, It's a coconut-flavored drink again, so sweet and delicious. Mu Kingsu blinked her big eyes, a little guilty, and said, "Don't you feel any discomfort?" Cheng Bingxi was taken aback. "No, what's wrong with drinking water?" "Oh, isn't this Miss Kinzier? You've come to Kunpeng Academy?" Cheng Bingxi had seen Kinzier at the wedding banquet and had a deep impression of her, recognizing her at a glance. Kinzier smiled and replied, "Yes, my physical problems have been resolved, and I've come to Kunpeng Academy to study and further my education." Cheng Bingxi nodded, "Then study hard." After saying that, Cheng Bingxi ran off happily to continue cultivating in the underground training room. Mu Kingsu looked at the small print on the bottle. It was a Grandmaster-level aphrodisiac. Phew. She breathed a sigh of relief, thinking to herself, Sister Bingxi is already at the 7th level of the Venerable Realm. A Grandmaster-level aphrodisiac won't have any effect on her. Kinzier, a naive and gentle girl with little experience of the cutthroat world, heard that the drink was sweet and delicious. She immediately grabbed the bottle, unscrewed the cap, and took several gulps. Kinzier smacked her lips a few times, happily laughing, "So sweet, so delicious." Mu Kingsu was shocked and quickly snatched the bottle away, saying, "This is an aphrodisiac. Don't drink it. Who'll detoxify you if you have a reaction?" Looking at the small print on the label, it was an aphrodisiac for Venerable Realm cultivators. Hiss. Mu Kingsu gasped, somewhat guilty. "Zir, you only drank 3 or 4 sips. Do you feel any discomfort?" Kinzier was at the 6th level of the Venerable Realm. Just a few sips shouldn't be a problem, right? Kinzier's beautiful eyes widened, her body flushed, and her pretty face panicked. "Aphrodisiac? I actually drank an aphrodisiac. I feel a bit feverish. Sister Kingsu, do you have an antidote?" Mu Kingsu touched her forehead with the back of her hand, feeling only a slight fever, and immediately breathed a sigh of relief. "No antidote, but it's alright. You only drank a few sips. With your cultivation level and body, the slight fever will probably subside." She put all the potions into her storage ring, then took out a bottle of 0-degree but not frozen liquid beverage, a specialty of the Beast Girl era, from the refrigerator and handed it to Kinzier to relieve her fever. "It's alright. Drink this." Mu Kingsu smiled. "I'll go tidy up the guest room so you can check in." After saying that, she left, leaving Kinzier sipping the cold beverage. Kinzier sipped the beverage slowly, but felt her body getting hotter and hotter. Panicked, she gulped it down. After finishing the whole bottle, her body temperature stopped rising, but it didn't go down either. She twisted her delicate body awkwardly, her eyebrows furrowed, and her face flushed with pain. "What's wrong with you?" At this moment, Xiao Ye returned to Villa number 10 and immediately noticed Kinzier's strange condition. Chapter 316 Xiao Ye cures the aphrodisiac. Kinzier was in a terrible state. Her exposed hands, feet, neck, and face were bright red, as if scalded by boiling water. "Xiao Ye, I'm so hot." Seeing Xiao Ye appear, Kinzier felt a surge of security, like she had found her pillar of support. She pounced on Xiao Ye, clinging to him. Damn, so hot. Even through her clothes, Xiao Ye could feel the heat radiating from her body. "What did you do? You're so hot?" Xiao Ye asked. Kinzier said shyly, "I drank aphrodisiac. Please help me." "Aphrodisiac?" Xiao Ye's face darkened. He said angrily, "Mu Kingsu actually took you to drink aphrodisiac. Is she crazy? She took you shopping, and you ended up drinking aphrodisiac? This arrogant little girl needs a good lesson. I guess I need to teach her a lesson." He suddenly widened his eyes as Kinzier brought her mouth close and sealed his lips with hers. "Xiao Ye, quickly help me detoxify." A few seconds later, the two separated, and she pleaded. Xiao Ye's expression was solemn. He nodded and said, "Okay, I'll detoxify you right away." Then, he carried Kinzier to a guest room and gently placed her on the bed. "Zir, it's urgent, I'm sorry." Xiao Ye grabbed her clothes and ripped them open with force. With a tearing sound, Kinzier's clothes were torn to shreds, revealing a patch of white skin. Kinzier said, "Be gentle." Xiao Ye shook his head. "These things need to be quick and forceful." He took out a Zuan Huang gem of the rule level and then used an ancient massage technique to begin massaging Kinzier's acute points to force out the aphrodisiac poison from her body. The ancient massage technique could draw out a violent rule power and violent Dao energy within the body, as well as the aphrodisiac poison. The Zuan Huang gem could absorb all violent and chaotic rule Dao energy, spiritual power, soul power, and so on. Hey, don't move around. What are you doing touching me? Wait. That won't do. Just a little longer, the aphrodisiac will be drawn out soon. The acupoint connection route will be completed soon. During Xiao Ye's massage, Xie was very restless, or rather, unconsciously and subconsciously moved closer to him. Distracted, Xiao Ye slapped away Xie's mischievous hands while concentrating on massaging the acupoints in sequence. 10 minutes later, with Xiao Ye accelerating his technique, a connection channel between the acupoints was finally completed. Mysterious yellow gem absorbed the aphrodisiac in Xie's body. With a bridge built, the mysterious yellow gem emitted bursts of light, which shone on Xie's body. A particle was directly absorbed. This was an aphrodisiac particle that hadn't fully exerted its effects. In just 10 seconds, the aphrodisiac particle was completely absorbed. The mysterious yellow gem's radiance faded, and it quietly floated in midair. Then, Xiao Ye used water control to condense several layers of ice and spread them around Xie's body. The room temperature plummeted to -50 degrees Celsius. With a penetrating cold of the ice, Xie's body temperature gradually decreased. Her flushed skin returned to normal. "Xie, how are you feeling?" Xiao Ye asked, putting away the Zhuan Huang gem. Xie covered her face with her hands, embarrassed, and said, "I'm much better." Xiao Ye got up and walked outside, saying, "You should have clothes in your storage ring, right? The guest room has a private bathroom. I'll go out first." As he reached the door, Xie suddenly said, "Wait." Xiao Ye stopped. "What's wrong?" Xie covered her face and said, "Actually, I wouldn't mind if you used the most primitive detoxification method to cure me." The most primitive method, wasn't it the same method used to cure Mu Qingsu? Xiao Ye's lips twitched. "You don't mind, but I do." Xie was stunned, somewhat disappointed. "Do you think I'm not good enough for you?" "That's not it." Xiao Ye shook his head, opened the door, and walked out of the room. "Ouch! The drum hurts." Cheng Bingxi, Nanguang Xiao, and Mu Qingsu, who were eavesdropping outside the door, fell to the ground, rubbing their drums in pain. Xiao Ye looked at the three girls at his feet, his face darkening. "What are you doing?" Cheng Bingxi jumped up with a backflip, pointed at Xiao Ye, and said angrily, "Well, Xiao Ye, you took advantage of us when we weren't looking, and you went after other beast girls. You're really something. HMPH, you hurt Xie, bullied a new beast girl, and now you want to take responsibility for the new beast girl. That's right, didn't you already have ill intentions and lust after Xie's body?" Accused by the three girls, Xiao Ye's face darkened even more. Especially when Mu Qingsu pointed at him, he became furious. He snapped, "Hey, you arrogant little brat, I haven't even bothered you yet, and you're already criticizing me? Where's your face? Look at the mess you've made. I told you to take Xie shopping, and you made her drink aphrodisiacs. Is this how you entertain guests? If I hadn't come back in time, think what Xie would have been tormented by those aphrodisiacs." Mu Qingsu lowered her head, too ashamed to look him in the eye, and stammered, I didn't make her drink the aphrodisiacs. She drank them herself." Xiao Ye glared at her, still trying to deny it. "You had an obligation to watch over her and prevent her from touching the aphrodisiacs, but you failed to do so." This was the first time Xiao Ye had reprimanded her so harshly. Mu Qingsu lowered her head even further, her eyes reddening slightly. Her voice was barely audible as she said, "I was wrong." Xiao Ye picked at his ear. "What did you say? I didn't hear you. Speak louder." "I was wrong," Mu Qingsu shouted. Cheng Bingxi and Nanguang Xiao stood silently to the side, watching quietly as they learned the whole story. Xiao Ye snorted coldly, "You should apologize to Xie." "What's the use of apologizing to me?" Mu Qingsu looked up, her eyes red, and said, "I will apologize to her. Why are you being so fierce? Wasn't it you who made me buy the aphrodisiac to help the monkey clan reproduce?" Cheng Bingxi and Nanguang Xiao suddenly realized, and the two women quickly surrounded her, waving their hands and saying, "All right, stop arguing. It's good that Xie is all right now. Qingsu didn't do it on purpose." "Xiao Ye, I'll say it again, you have to take responsibility for what you did. You can't let Xie feel disheartened." Cheng Bingxi's pretty face was serious. Mu Qingsu hid behind Cheng Bingxi and said, "HMPH, I saw it a long time ago. Xie has fallen for Xiao Ye." Nanguang Xiao crossed her arms, giving him a scrutinizing look. Xiao Ye's lips twitched, and he revealed the truth. Then you've got the wrong idea. I didn't do anything to Kinzir. The antidote was done using an ancient massage technique, like addressing a physical defect, to guide the antidote particles out of her body. It's not what you think. Nangguang Xiao questioned. I heard Kinzir call out. At this moment, Kinzir, dressed neatly in a flowing white dress, walked out gracefully. Xiao Ye shrugged. Just ask Zir directly. Did I bully her? Cheng Bingxi asked. Kinzir, how did Xiao Ye cure your antidote? Tell the truth, and we'll make him take responsibility for you. Take responsibility for me? Really? Kinzir's beautiful eyes widened, her expression surprisingly pleased. Mu Qingsu nodded. Really? Kinzir looked at Xiao Ye, her big eyes darting around. Xiao Ye had a bad feeling. Kinzir smiled and said. Chapter 317 Kinzir confesses her love. Kinzir told the truth. Xiao Ye didn't hurt me or bully me. He used massage to cure my aphrodisiac. Xiao Ye breathed a sigh of relief. If Kinzir had lied, he would have faced a siege and trial from the three beast girls. Kinzir was simple-minded and not very scheming. In terms of character, she was just like her father, Qin Tai, very upright. Cheng Bingxi patted her chest and also breathed a sigh of relief, then snorted, Xiao Ye, Kinzir is temporarily staying in our villa. You're the only man here, so you need to be careful. Don't just wander around in your shirtless shorts. Also, don't drink alcohol these days, or you'll be in big trouble if you do something beastly. Nangguang Xiao nodded in agreement. Mu Qingsu hid behind the two women and snorted softly. Xiao Ye's face darkened, speechless. Do you guys really have such a bad impression of me? Do you think I'm the kind of brainless, lustful old lecher? Cheng Bingxi said thoughtfully. They're about the same. Xiao Ye. Kinzir's beautiful eyes widened, an incredulous expression appearing on her pretty face. She thought to herself, Xiao Ye, he's actually that kind of person. But when she thought about how Xiao Ye had treated her in the grove in Jinling City, he hadn't taken advantage of her. Kinzir immediately dismissed her previous thought. No, Xiao Ye wasn't that kind of person. Cheng Bingxi said to Kinzir, Miss Qin, we'll be living under the same roof for a while, so be careful of Xiao Ye and don't get too close to him. Kinzir smiled and said, okay. Then, Mu Qingsu jumped out from behind Cheng Bingxi, her face full of apology as she said to Kinzir, Zir, I'm sorry, it was my fault for making you drink the aphrodisiac. She stretched out her hand, took out a leather whip, and said, if you're not satisfied, whip me until you are. Kinzir took a step back, somewhat resistant, and said, no, I wanted to drink it myself, it has nothing to do with you. Mu Qingsu's pretty face lit up with joy. Zir, I'll whip you for you. Xiao Ye picked up the leather whip and lashed it at Mu Qingsu. Crack! It struck her hard on the skin. Mu Qingsu cried out in pain, her skin turning red. Xiao Ye asked, little girl, have you learned your lesson? Mu Qingsu pouted and didn't speak. Kinzir had never seen anything like this before. This whole mess started because of her, and she hurriedly stepped in front of Mu Qingsu, spreading her arms and closing her eyes, saying, Xiao Ye, I took the aphrodisiac myself. It has nothing to do with Sister Qingsu. If you want to hit someone, hit me. As she spoke, her face tensed, and her beautiful eyelashes trembled slightly. Xiao Ye tossed the whip to the ground and laughed, I only hit those who deserve it. Why would I hit you? Kinzir opened her eyes, worried, and asked, will you still hit Sister Qingsu? Xiao Ye glanced at Mu Qingsu, seeing her pouting and glaring at him with red eyes, and shrugged, saying, I won't. He added in his mind, he'll hit her tonight. Kinzir breathed a sigh of relief, her heart finally at ease. Cheng Bingxi thought for a moment and said, Kinzir, no matter what, it's because of us that you drank the aphrodisiac and suffered so much? We will compensate you. Do you have any wishes? We'll help you fulfill them. Kinzir shook her head. It has nothing to do with you. I drank the aphrodisiac myself. Xiao Ye slapped his forehead. Kinzir's values and personality were truly excellent. She hadn't suffered for 10 years without her mind, values, or personality becoming warped, which showed the Qin family's upbringing and Qin Tai's teachings were excellent. If it were an ordinary person, being tormented by the cursed body for 10 years would have long since warped their mind, their personality would have drastically changed, and they would have become completely corrupted. Zir, do you have any wishes? As your hosts, and since you're here as a guest, we'll help you fulfill them, he said, rephrasing his statement. As expected, Xie stopped resisting, a smile appearing on her pretty face. Her beautiful eyes looked expectantly at Xiao Ye, and she crossed her legs, a little shyly saying, Xiao Ye, I want to live with you forever, is that okay? Xiao Ye, huh? Chengbingxi? Nangguangxiao, what? Mu Qingxi's lips twitched. Xie's words contained many layers of meaning. Wanting to live with a man forever was inherently unreasonable. This was tantamount to directly confessing her feelings to Xiao Ye. I like you, can we be together forever? Xiao Ye scratched his head, confirming, Xie, are you serious? All the beast girls living here are my contracted partners, that's why they live with me, but you're not. Xie's pretty face was serious as she nodded, I'm serious. Chengbingxi and Nangguangxiao exchanged a glance, seeing anger in each other's eyes. As experienced women, they had already seen Xie's feelings for Xiao Ye. Even if the two hadn't had a physical relationship, who knew when things might start if Xie stayed here? Facing Xie's expectant gaze, Xiao Ye nodded and said, you can stay here for the next 4 years while you're studying at Kunpeng Academy. There are plenty of rooms on the second floor, just pick one. Xie's pretty face lit up with joy, and she jumped up excitedly, saying, Yay! Thank you, Xiao Ye. Chengbingxi and Nangguangxiao remained expressionless. But since they had agreed to fulfill her wish, they couldn't go back on their word. However, letting Xie stay here was like inviting a wolf into the house. Mu Qingxu had already noticed Xie's unusual feelings for Xiao Ye. Because she felt somewhat guilty towards Xie, she didn't object much to Xie staying here. Sister Bingxi, come with me. I have a plan to tell you, Nangguangxiao said, pulling Chengbingxi into the underground cultivation room. After arriving at the underground cultivation room, Nangguangxiao said, we can't let Xiao Ye contract with any more beast girls. He doesn't have the energy to take care of so many. Even if it's one a day, we'll have to wait 5 days for each cycle. Chengbingxi tilted her head and said, why not 2 together? 3 would be fine too. Nangguangxiao stamped her foot anxiously, oh dear, 3 together would be fine, but we can't let Xiao Ye keep contracting with new beast girls. Contracting 1 a week, after a few years, he'll be living a life better than an emperor, with 3,000 beauties in his harem. By then, we old beast girls might be relegated to the cold palace. Chengbingxi thought it made sense and said, then what can you do? Xie likes Xiao Ye, we can't change that fact. Nangguangxiao smiled, who said we can change it? She likes Xiao Ye because she's attracted to his excellence, and her affection for him is off the charts. We just need to change her impression of Xiao Ye. Think about it. When she finds out and agrees in her heart that Xiao Ye is a lecherous old man, a bad guy, a scoundrel who won't do anything for personal gain, a pretentious delinquent, would she still like Xiao Ye? Chengbingxi's beautiful eyes lit up, and she said firmly, no. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 318 Brainwashing and Smear Campaign. Nangguangxiao snapped her fingers. That works. As long as we tarnish Xiao Ye's image in Xie's mind, a young lady like Xie will easily dislike Xiao Ye. Chengbingxi hesitated. Would that be too cruel? Cruel? We're protecting our rights. Xiao Ye is our Beast Tamer, we have that right. Nangguangxiao rolled her eyes at her, pinching Chengbingxi's cheek with her delicate hand. Chengbingxi slapped away the mischievous hand, clenched her fists, and said resolutely, then it's decided. Before dinner, we'll brainwash Xie, instilling in her bad impression of Xiao Ye. Nangguangxiao smiled. Yes, but before that, we need to recruit an ally, Zuir. The two women went up to the living room on the first floor and found Xiao Ye leisurely lying on the sofa, whistling and crossing his legs, looking quite content. The two women's faces darkened. Xiao Ye whistled at the two women and ordered them without any politeness, we have guests today. Go and ask Sister Liu Ya to prepare dinner. Don't cultivate today, you can cultivate tomorrow. Chengbingxi's face darkened even more, and Nangguangxiao snorted. This guy is messing around with beautiful beast girls, and we haven't even taught him a lesson yet, and he's already ordering us around, Nangguangxiao grumbled. Go and call Sister Liu Ya. Cheng Bingxi pulled Nangong Xiao into the underground cultivation room and stopped the mature teacher Liu Ye, who was cultivating. She also told Liu Ye about the smear campaign and brainwashing plan, which Liu Ye readily agreed to participate in. Then, Liu Ye went to the kitchen, and Cheng Bingxi and Nangong Xiao went upstairs and saw Mu Qingsu decorating Qin Zier's room. The two women pulled Mu Qingsu out of the room, blocked her in the corridor, and whispered the brainwashing and smear campaign plan. Mu Qingsu stared in disbelief, frowning. Is this really okay? If Xiao Ye finds out, he'll beat me. Cheng Bingxi and Nangong Xiao's eyes widened. Does Xiao Ye often beat you? We've never been beaten by him. Exactly. If he dares to hit me, I'll castrate him. Mu Qingsu found it unbelievable, her pretty face darkening. She said angrily, so, out of all these beast girls, Xiao Ye has only ever hit me, and several times he's beaten me so badly my legs are weak, I can't even walk. Cheng Bingxi and Nangong Xiao nodded. Mu Qingsu. After considering for a while, she said with some trepidation, I won't participate in this plan. If he finds out, he might beat me again, beat me until I can't even walk. She vaguely remembered how painful and swollen her red, bruised bottom was. Cheng Bingxi and Nangong Xiao's lips twitched, and they said helplessly, all right, we'll complete the plan. Just don't hinder us. Yet, Xiao Ye wouldn't bear to hide us. Mu Qingsu. Actually, she not only didn't want to be hit by Xiao Ye, but she also felt guilty towards Qin Zier, so she was unwilling to participate in the plan. Then, Mu Qingsu walked into the guest room, and Cheng Bingxi and Nangong Xiao looked inside. The room was already very well furnished, decorated in a fresh and fairy-like style. Qin Zier lay on the bed like a sleeping beauty, giving people a fresh and refined feeling. Her delicate temperament added to people's desire to protect her. At this moment, by the door, Cheng Bingxi stared in amazement. So beautiful. I love it. If a man saw this, he'd probably be driven mad and pounce on her. Nangong Xiao narrowed her eyes, sensing a deep sense of crisis. The plan can't be delayed for even a second. The plan is about to begin. Then, the two women deliberately pretended to be very angry and furious as they spoke in the corridor. That bastard Xiao Ye is a total scumbag. He just casually touches strange women's legs. Yet, what a pervert. Touching her legs is one thing, but when he sees a pretty woman on the street, he only wants to see her stockings and long legs. HMPH, such a lecherous man. If I hadn't already married him, I would never have even looked at him. Me neither. Before we even signed the contract, he forced his way into my room and groped me while I was sleeping. I just gave in to him in a daze and stupidly followed him. If it happened again, I would definitely stay far away from him. Exactly, he's the kind of person who only does things for personal gain, always weighing the pros and cons. All he cares about is the crystal core. The crystal core is more important to him than any of us. HMPH. Xiao Ye usually doesn't show his dark side and tries to create a very upright image for himself, but when a woman is relaxed, he suddenly bursts into the room, tears off our clothes, and pounces on us like a beast. The two women were speaking loudly, and Qin Zier and Mu Qingsu in the guest room heard them clearly. Qin Zier frowned, asking incredulously, Sister Qingsu, are the two women outside talking about Xiao Ye? Mu Qingsu nodded. Qin Zier's frown deepened, a deep frown forming between her brows. She hesitated. Xiao Ye, is he really like what the two women say? Is he a hypocrite, two-faced and hypocritical? Mu Qingsu didn't speak, avoiding Qin Zier's eyes, and hurriedly slipped away, saying, excuse me, I need to pee, or I'll wet my pants. Watching Mu Qingsu run off, Qin Zier fell into deep thought. Half an hour later, everyone arrived at the first-floor living room and began dinner. Xiao Ye sat down next to Qin Zier, but Qin Zier shifted away fearfully. Xiao Ye touched his face. Was he really that scary? Cheng Bingxi and Nangong Xiao, who were watching Qin Zier's every move, were overjoyed. Yes. It worked. Great, Qin Zier has been successfully brainwashed. Mu Qingsu sat on the other side of Xiao Ye. Seeing it was her, Xiao Ye, somewhat annoyed, put his hand under the table and placed it on Mu Qingsu's long, white legs. Mu Qingsu glared at him, letting him do as he pleased. Because the dining table was transparent, Qin Zier saw this scene clearly, causing her pupils to shrink. Cheng Bingxi suddenly asked, Xiao Ye, I saw a beggar on the street near the maid hotel. He asked me for a Grandmaster level crystal core, and I gave it to him. Do you think I did the right thing? Xiao Ye frowned and asked, were the beggar's fingernails clean? Cheng Bingxi replied, I didn't notice. Xiao Ye bluntly said, don't give him the crystal collar. What kind of beggar is he? He's just pretending to scam money. Cheng Bingxi snorted, that was a pitiful beggar. Can't you even give him a Grandmaster level crystal core? Honestly, Xiao Ye, you're too greedy. You can't even bear to give him a Grandmaster level crystal core. You have no compassion at all. Xiao Ye's lips twitched. Too lazy to explain, he said, if you love money, so be it. Anyway, just ignore any beggar you see in the future. Qin Zhi's pupils contracted again, and her face stiffened. Seeing that it had worked, Cheng Bingxi exchanged a glance with Nangong Xiao and chuckled. The trap had been successfully set. I'm full. Qin Zhi suddenly put down her chopsticks, stood up, gave Xiao Ye a deep look, and left the living room with a somewhat unpleasant expression, going upstairs. Chapter 319 Qin Zhi, I understand. Seeing her unusual state, Xiao Ye was taken aback and asked, puzzled, what's wrong with her? Mu Qingsu, what did you do again? You made her suffer. Mu Qingsu's pretty face darkened. What kind of look is that? I didn't do anything, and I certainly didn't make her suffer. Xiao Ye looked at the other girls. What about you? Cheng Bingxi waved her hand. We didn't bully her. Maybe she's in a bad mood because of her period. Cheng Bingxi said this without any guilt. She and Nangong Xiao hadn't bullied Qin Zhi, nor had they been sarcastic or made her suffer. They had only spread some negative information and rumors about Xiao Ye. She's on her period. Xiao Ye nodded. In the Beast Girl era, after awakening as a Beast Girl, the Beast Girl's physiological characteristics remained, not atrophied, such as menstruation. Liu moved her lips, wanting to say something but didn't, glancing at Xiao Ye. After dinner, Cheng Bingxi and Nangong Xiao arrived at the underground training room in high spirits. They clapped their hands excitedly, exclaiming, plan executed. Success. Great. Qin Zhi's feelings towards Xiao Ye have definitely diminished considerably. As long as we add fuel to the fire and smear him a few more times, she'll dislike Xiao Ye and won't like him anymore. Liu, having finished tidying up, came to the underground training room and overheard the two women's conversation. She said, don't smear him too much. Too much smearing will seem fake. Xiao Ye is who he is, no matter how you smear him, it's all fake. Besides, we have the right to stop Qin Zhi from being with Xiao Ye, but smearing him is a bit unethical. If Xiao Ye finds out, who knows how he'll punish you. Cheng Bingxi and Nangong Xiao felt a little guilty, their eyes darting away. They said, okay, stop talking. Just smear his image in Qin Zhi's mind a little when he's not around, and don't let him know. Exactly. Liu was speechless. No secrets stay hidden forever. Xiao Ye would find out what they were doing sooner or later. Upstairs, Xiao Ye stood outside a guest room, carrying a thermos. He gently knocked and smiled. Zir, are you feeling unwell? I have some hot water here, drinking more will help. Qin Zhi, completely covered by the blanket, hesitated upon hearing the voice and said somewhat distantly, thank you, you can leave it there, I'll get it myself. Don't come in. Xiao Ye smiled, okay, if you're feeling very unwell, you can tell me, or you can find Mu Qingsu. The academy has a school doctor who can help relieve your pain. With that, Xiao Ye left. The door opened, and a small head peeked out. Big eyes blinked as she looked around. After Xiao Ye left, she picked up the thermos, carried it into the room, and locked the door. He's a lecherous scoundrel, and also a profit-driven person. Drinking the hot water from the thermos, Qin Zhi's pretty face showed conflict and struggle. Daddy told me to stay away from these two types of people, but even though I know he's one, I still like him. What should I do? After learning Xiao Ye's true colors, she was afraid to approach him, yet she couldn't help wanting to get closer to him. This internal conflict was intense. Should I listen to Daddy, or bravely pursue my own happiness? Clutching the thermos, torn, she drank all the hot water without realizing it, her head practically burning up. Ugh. I'll go ask Sister Qingsu what she's decided. Xiao Ye is so bad, but Sister Qingsu still chose him. Qin Zhi put the thermos on the table, peed, and then happily headed up to the third floor. After Mu Qingsu's introduction, she already knew which room everyone lived in. Reaching the stairwell, she went up the stairs to the third floor corridor. Xie stopped because she saw Xiao Ye outside Mu Kingsu's door. Xiao Ye raised his foot and kicked the door open with a loud bang. He then let out a wicked laugh, opened his arms, and pounced inside, shouting, "Little girl, I'm here." Immediately, Mu Kingsu's shy, bashful voice rang out, "Ugh! You rascal, what are you doing here?" "What am I doing here? Of course, I'm here to fuck you." Xiao Ye's wicked laughter echoed. The door slammed shut with a bang. Xie stood frozen in place, covering her mouth with her hands, her eyes wide with terror, desperately trying to stifle a scream. Whoosh! She moved like a rabbit, dashing downstairs, her heart pounding, and returned to her guest room on the second floor. After locking the door, Xie sat on the bed, patting her heaving chest with lingering fear. She exclaimed, "Xiao Ye really would break in the middle of the night, pouncing like a beast." Nanguang Xiao and Cheng Bingxi had said this that afternoon, and she hadn't believed it then, but now she did. Xie was certain that Xiao Ye was a lecher. After confirming this, she felt even more conflicted. She then took out her satellite communicator and dialed her father, Qin Tai's, number. The Shanghai and Jinling-based cities were far apart, but online calls were possible. It was a bit late. Qin Tai would usually be asleep, but Xie still dialed. "Hello. Xie, how is it going over there? Is it fun?" The call was answered instantly, Qin Tai's warm voice coming through. Xie nodded, "It's fun, but I'm a little unaccustomed to it." Qin Tai laughed and said, "It's normal to be unaccustomed to it at first. You'll get used to it after living there for a while." Xie hesitated and said, "Daddy, I have something I want to ask you. If the person you like is a lecherous scoundrel, a person who only cares about profit, is that person still worth a woman's affection?" Qin Tai was taken aback, then said thoughtfully, "Well, a lecherous scoundrel means that this person likes to have affairs and doesn't care about his family. Being only cares about profit means that in this person's eyes, profit is more important than anything else, even more important than his own beast girl. He'd be willing to sell his beast girl if you threw money at him. That kind of person isn't worth liking." Xie was silent for a few minutes before speaking, her voice trembling slightly. "What if I really like this person? I've already fallen for him. Whether he's worth it or not, it can't be changed." Qin Tai's eyes widened in disbelief. "Xie, you're not talking about Xiao Ye, are you?" Xie's pretty face flushed, and she stammered, "Yes, it's him." "Oh." Qin Tai laughed heartily. "Xie, don't be shy. I've already seen it, you've fallen for Xiao Ye." Xie's face flushed even more. "Then what should I do? Stay away from him?" Qin Tai replied without hesitation, "Stay away? Why should you stay away? Since you've fallen for him, you should bravely pursue him and fight for your own happiness. As for what you called a lecherous opportunist, I think Xie has been bewitched by something. Do you know what Xiao Ye received in return for giving you the treatment template? He didn't take a single crystal core. You call that kind of person opportunistic? As for a lecherous opportunist, what man in the world isn't lustful? As long as he's lustful but not lewd, it's fine. Of course your daddy isn't lustful. I'm talking about other men." Xie suddenly understood, feeling enlightened. The inner turmoil vanished instantly, and an immense joy rose on her face. "I understand, Daddy. I know what to do. Daddy, you're a lecher too. I knew you secretly went to private clubs to find women to play with." Qin Tai's expression stiffened. He wanted to argue, but was shocked to find that the call had been disconnected. Chapter 320 Sensory Twist, Plan Failed. Qin Tai slapped his forehead. "Oh no. My daughter has labeled me a lecher. How am I supposed to maintain my image as a serious and warm father in her eyes now? I went to the private club, secretly, and Xie found out. Sigh, Xie's mother disappeared more than 10 years ago, deep in the Monster Mountain range. She's still missing, probably long since perished in the claws of monsters." Meanwhile, Xie, though simple-minded, wasn't stupid. After her father Qin Tai's guidance, her impression of Xiao Ye had returned to normal. Moreover, she vaguely felt that her two Beast Girl sisters, Cheng Bingxi and Nanguang Xiao, were deliberately spreading rumors to make her dislike Xiao Ye. Besides, if Xiao Ye were really that bad, with such a poor character, how could he have contracted so many Beast Girls? Mu Kingsu was also the daughter of a top-tier Bay City lord. She couldn't be blind to have misjudged him, could she? "Xiao Ye likes to barge in at night and pounce on me like a beast." Xie murmured to herself, imagining the scene of Xiao Ye leaping onto her bed. Ugh! She covered her face with her hands, her rosy cheeks turning bright red. She was shy. If it's Xiao Ye, it's not impossible. Daddy told me to be brave and pursue my own happiness. I've decided, I'm going to take the initiative. Okay, let's go buy some Durex first, just in case. I don't want to get pregnant yet. After putting on her shoes, Xie carefully opened the door, then tiptoed and crouched low as she quietly went downstairs. As she reached the dark first floor, a crisp snap rang out, and the lights instantly switched on, dispelling the darkness and making the first floor as bright as day. Xie's crouching, tiptoeing body stiffened. A puzzled voice came from the sofa. It was Liu Ya's voice. Miss Qin, where are you going so late? If you need to buy household supplies, you don't need to go out. There are plenty in the warehouse on the first floor. I'll take you to pick some out. Durex's household supplies? Xie's mind went blank. There are plenty of sanitary napkins in the warehouse, Liu Ya said with a smile when she didn't speak. Xie's pretty face flushed, and she asked, do you have those in the warehouse? Liu Ya, those? Sanitary napkins, right? Yes, we have them. Come with me. Then, Liu Ya took Xie's hand and walked towards the warehouse at the back of the villa. As they walked, Liu Ya intentionally or unintentionally used words to probe Xie's current attitude towards Xiao Ye. What do you think of Xiao Ye? Ah, Xiao Ye, he's a really nice guy. Do you dislike Xiao Ye? No, why would I dislike him? Don't you think there's something wrong with Xiao Ye? No, what's wrong with him? After several probes, Liu Ya found that Xie's answers were very sincere, without any intention of lying. This left Liu Ya stunned, then bewildered. Wait a minute. At dinner, Xie's reaction clearly showed disappointment in Xiao Ye, so why had her attitude changed so drastically in just a few hours? The warehouse door wasn't locked, it opened easily with a gentle push. After the two entered, Liu Ya introduced the items to Xie. This shelf has toiletries, this one has daily necessities, this one has bedding, and this one has combat supplies. The shelves were filled with brand new items. Bedding? Xie's eyes lit up, and she walked towards the third shelf. On the third shelf, her face flushed crimson as she saw piles of items she was too ashamed to mention. Liu smiled nonchalantly. Daily necessities are on the second shelf. But Xie didn't go back to the second shelf. Instead, blushing, she took something from the third shelf. She quickly stuffed the things into her bosom, blushing, and said, Sister, I'm ready, let's go back. Liu Ya saw her actions, her beautiful eyes staring blankly at the pocket on Xie's skirt, and asked in a daze, You can't use this by yourself, what are you doing with it? Xie was very embarrassed, covered her face and ran out in a flash, saying in a voice as soft as a mosquito's buzz, I can use it. Liu was stunned. She thought about it for ages, her brain was practically overheating. How could one person possibly use it? Wait. Liu was shocked. There was only Xiao Ye in this villa. Xie taking this thing, her purpose was self-evident, anyone could guess it. Hiss. After deducing the result, Liu Ya gasped. Bingzai, Xiao, your plan not only failed, but you may have even pushed Xie back. After all, you'll know what kind of person Xiao Ye is after spending time with him. No matter how you smear him, it's impossible to succeed. After leaving the warehouse, Liu Ya hurriedly chased after her. Upon entering the villa, Chang Bingxi and Nangang Xiao appeared and pulled Liu Ya away, leading her to the underground cultivation room. Sister Liu Ya, our plan went very smoothly. Xie has already decided that Xiao Ye is a lecherous old man who only cares about profit. She probably already hates Xiao Ye. That's right, we saw with our own eyes that Xiao Ye forced his way into Zuir's room. Actually, we told Xiao Ye that Kingsu is waiting for him, wanting to play the emperor and concubine game with him, which is why he forced his way into the room and pounced on her. The two women laughed and recounted the whole story. Liu Ya's lips twitched upon hearing this, speechless. Are you sure Xie dislikes Xiao Ye? Did you ask her? Did she say it herself? Cheng Bingxi and Nangang Xiao said, why ask? We've already seen Xiao Ye's rude, lecherous side. There's no need to ask. Exactly, any woman would misunderstand. Liu rolled her eyes and said bluntly, I think it's you who are misunderstanding. Not Xie. I already asked Xie, and I'm sure she doesn't dislike Xiao Ye, let alone hate him. Cheng Bingxi and Nangong Xiao didn't believe her at all and shook their heads violently. Sister Leah, who are you trying to fool? HMPH, what you're saying is too fake. Liu Ya's face darkened. She said, Kinzir went to the warehouse just now and took a Durex right under my nose. What use would a woman have for that? There's only one man in this villa, Xiao Ye. You don't need to guess what her purpose is. Cheng Bingxi and Nangong Xiao were stunned, standing frozen in place. Their plan had failed. Kinzir's affection for Xiao Ye was far greater than they had imagined. Forget it, I'm going to cultivate now, I'm done. Sigh, Xiao Ye is going to have another beast girl. I don't care anymore. We can't stop Kinzir from doing what she wants, let her be. The two women were dejected and discouraged, so they simply transformed into their summoned beast forms and began cultivating, no longer wanting to engage in slander and brainwashing. Liu Yang also sighed, saying, another beast girl. Chapter 321 Kinzir, I'm waiting for you to force your way in. They couldn't stop Kinzir from doing what she wanted, and they couldn't force Xiao Ye away from her either. That was unrealistic and impossible. Leah, however, understood why Kinzir had fallen for Xiao Ye. Like Kinzir, she had been troubled by her template flaw for a long time. She couldn't cultivate and her cultivation level regressed, but Kinzir suffered even more, possessing a cursed body that prevented her from even interacting with others, and she had to endure gossip and be called a jinx. In this dark and cold predicament, no one in the world could offer help, but at this time, Xiao Ye was like a warm ray of light, illuminating everything, helping her escape the predicament, and solving her template problem. Moreover, Xiao Ye was exceptionally talented and handsome. Anyone rescued by a hero in a moment of utter despair would likely develop a greater fondness for that hero, even falling in love with him. This was especially true for someone like Kinzir, who hadn't interacted with many people or many outstanding individuals. Then, Liu Yang also transformed into her summoned beast form and began cultivating. The three women are currently at the 8th, 7th, and 7th levels of the Venerable Realm, respectively. At the Venerable Realm, one can advance one level per day, which has also boosted Xiao Ye's cultivation to the 8th level. It won't be long before Liu Ya's cultivation returns to the Great Venerable Realm. Meanwhile, Xiao Ye and Mu Qingsu finished their battle. Mu Qingsu lay in Xiao Ye's arms, her proud nature completely suppressed, now resembling a shy little woman, drawing small circles on his chest. Xiao Ye, after several days of treatment, my figure has become quite impressive. Do you like it? Yes, Xiao Ye replied. Then do you prefer the old me or the current me? Mu Qingsu asked. The current you, Xiao Ye replied. You mean you don't like the old me anymore? Mu Qingsu's eyes were filled with resentment. I like both, Xiao Ye said. Then what do you like about me? Mu Qingsu asked. I like everything about you, Xiao Ye replied. Oh, that's not it. I mean, what features do you like about me? Mu Qingsu blushed. What's your character, huh? A haughty young lady? Xiao Ye said. Don't ask. I like you for who you are, Mu Qingsu. Mu Qingsu chuckled, her eyes filled with joy and affection. Want me to kick you again? Xiao Ye shook his head, turned around, dressed, and went to the floor to rinse his mouth. I have something very important to do tomorrow. I need to rest now, I can't overexert myself. Oh, and after I leave tomorrow, you have to take good care of Kinzir. Keep an eye on her and don't let her drink anything indiscriminately, like aphrodisiacs or anything like that. If I come back and find that Kinzir has been wronged, I'll whip you. With that, Xiao Ye left Mu Qingsu's room. Unsatisfied, Mu Qingsu looked at him, leaving with a hint of resentment in her beautiful eyes, muttering, You never stop talking about Kinzir. Is Kinzir more important, or am I? Humph. Take care of her if you want. Someone as simple-minded as Kinzir is easily led astray. Xiao Ye opened the door and walked out of the room. Before he could even turn on the light switch in the hallway, the light automatically turned on. Damn. Xiao Ye slammed on the brakes, nearly hitting someone. He raised an eyebrow and saw it was Kinzir, standing in the hallway outside. Her small hands tightly gripping the hem of her clothes, a hint of stubbornness on her delicate face. Xiao Ye asked in surprise, Kinzir, what are you doing here? Eavesdropping? Kinzir's face flushed red, and she quickly shook her head. No, I wasn't eavesdropping. I didn't want to hear about that, it's so embarrassing. Xiao Ye. You still say you weren't eavesdropping, yet you know what you were doing. Come with me, I have something to tell you. Xie shyly took Xiao Ye's hand and quickly headed towards the guest room on the second floor. Xiao Ye was quite puzzled and joked, "It's so late, what are you going to do? Aren't you afraid I'll lose my temper with just the two of us alone?" Xie shook her head, "No." After entering the guest room on the second floor, Xie closed the door and quickly ran to the clothes rack, taking out several thin nightgowns. She asked shyly, "Xiao Ye, which nightgown do you think looks better on me?" The nightgowns were dresses, white, black, purple, red, and various other colors. Xiao Ye. Was this all the reason he was brought here in the middle of the night? Xiao Ye stroked his chin and said, "They all look good. Why don't you try them on one by one, and I'll take a look?" Xie nodded, ran to the bathroom to change into the nightgowns, and then came running out, raising her hand and twirling in front of Xiao Ye, asking, "Does it look good?" This one was a white nightgown, thin and clinging to her body, highlighting her curvaceous figure. Xiao Ye said, "It looks good." Xie's pretty face lit up with joy. "Then I'll wear this one." Xiao Ye waved his hand and suggested, "Why don't you try on the red or purple ones? Maybe they'll look even better." Xie nodded, agreeing. She happily ran to the bathroom, but came out 2 seconds later, still wearing her white pajamas. She ran up to Xiao Ye, blushing, and said, "Xiao Ye, touch it and see how it feels. See if you like it." Xiao Ye's eyes widened. "Touch what? You? Or the pajamas?" Xie stomped her foot. "Oh, it's the pajamas." Xiao Ye's lips twitched. What was he supposed to touch? It wasn't like he was wearing them. However, since Xie had spoken, he reached out and kneaded the hem of the pajamas, saying, "It's silky smooth, very thin and light, and breathable. It's made of high-end materials." Xie's beautiful eyes looked expectant, and she asked, "Do you like it?" Xiao Ye replied, "I wouldn't say I like it, but it should be very comfortable to wear." Xie's beautiful eyes darkened, and she said, "Then you don't like it. I'll change into something else." She quickly ran into the bathroom and came out 2 minutes later. Xiao Ye. It was a blood-red pajama set, a bright, vivid red, like the attire of a female ghost in red. Wearing it on Xie, who had a clear-headed demeanor and a gentle personality, it gave off an awkward feeling. Seeing Xiao Ye's somewhat awkward expression, Xie pouted and hurriedly ran back to the bathroom to change into another set. When she came out, Xiao Ye's eyes lit up. The purple pajamas looked very elegant on Xie. Mengxuan was right, purple had a lot of charm. He snapped his fingers and chuckled, very pretty, very stylish, very beautiful." Xie's pretty face lit up with joy, her delight overflowing. She leaned closer, "Then touch it and see how it feels. Do you like it?" Xiao Ye's lips twitched. "It's you wearing it, not me. What good is it if I like it? You have to like it. Besides, these pajamas are all made of the same fabric, right? They all feel the same." Xie shook her head. "No, you have to like it." "Xiao Ye, I like it. I like all clothes made of this kind of fabric." Xie smiled. "Then I'll wear this color. I have hundreds of pajamas in this color." She added in her mind, "No matter which day you force your way into my room and pounce on me, I'll be waiting for you in this dress." Chapter 322 Xie, "I won't lock the door, you don't need to kick it." Xiao Ye felt very strange. Why did she have to like what she wore, and why did she have to let him touch it? Xie, don't make it so complicated. Wear whatever you like. Pajamas aren't for others to see or touch, and you don't need to ask me. Xie shook her head. No, those things have to be liked by both of us, whether it's what we wear, what we use to make the bed, or the blankets. Xiao Ye was completely confused, several question marks appearing on his face. Those things? What things? What did she need all that for? Xie's pretty face flushed red, her eyes darting away. It's the kind of thing you like to do. Xiao Ye's lips twitched. What did he like to do? He had no idea. Explain it clearly, Xiao Ye said. Xie didn't respond. Feeling bored, Xiao Ye said, I'm going to the capital with Yunbing tomorrow on business. We won't be in Shanghai for a few days. You can ask Mu Kingsa to help you learn about Kunpeng Academy and explore Shanghai. Xie nodded and said, okay. There's something I want to ask you. Besides the pajamas I'm wearing, what other styles of pajamas do you like? She asked. Xiao Ye was puzzled. Is it for me or for you? Xie blushed and said, it's for me. Xiao Ye's lips twitched. Just wear whatever you like. He liked many styles of pajamas, such as sailor uniforms, teacher uniforms, maid outfits, bunny girl outfits, flight attendant uniforms, and dozens of other styles, but he couldn't tell Xie these. Xie was simple-minded and easily led astray. He couldn't bring himself to lead Xie astray. Alright, figure out what to wear yourself. I'm leaving. Xiao Ye turned and left. Xie looked somewhat disappointed. Oh. As Xiao Ye walked to the door and was about to close it, Xie spoke again. I won't lock the door tonight. You don't need to kick it. You don't need to force your way in, just turn the doorknob. Hearing this, Xiao Ye paused, his face stiffening. Kick it, force his way in? 2 hours ago, he had forced his way into Mu Kingsu's room. In all his years, that was the first time he had ever kicked a door open like that. Had Xie witnessed it? Wait. Xiao Ye's eyes widened. He understood what Xie meant. In an instant, Xiao Ye's face darkened, a surge of anger rising within him. He entered Xie's room again, his expression grim. Standing before her, he looked directly at her and said, Xie, did you see me force my way into Mu Kingsu's room and think I'll do the same to you? Xie, seeing his fierce expression, was somewhat frightened and nodded gently, saying, Yes, yes, what's wrong? Xiao Ye was speechless. He said, Here, I can tell you clearly, I won't force my way into your room. You don't need to worry. Besides, am I really that bad in your eyes? Xie whispered, It's alright, I don't care. Xiao Ye's lips twitched. You prepared all these things, letting me see and touch them, just to prevent me from forcing my way into your room? Xie nodded. Yes. Why, do you like me? Xiao Ye asked directly. Xie's pupils contracted, shocked. How did you know? Then, she covered her face with her hands, blushing. My daddy, really, telling you all this is so embarrassing. Xiao Ye. Did anyone even need to tell him? Anyone could have figured it out. Xiao Ye touched his handsome face. Being too handsome and outstanding isn't always a good thing. It's late, bye-bye. Xiao Ye glanced out the window. It was pitch black. Not a ray of light, almost 11 o'clock. Squeak. As he walked, before he even left the room, he stepped on something, which popped with a squelch and deflated. Xiao Ye looked up, a question mark appearing on his face. It was a Durex condom. The problem was, had he lost it? Xiao Ye didn't remember carrying it with him. Ah! Xie suddenly exclaimed, feeling her pocket and finding it empty. Sorry, that was mine. Oh no, when did it fall down? I didn't even notice. Her pretty face flushed, she ran over, leaving a fragrant breeze behind, and immediately squatted down to pick it up and put it in her pocket. Xiao Ye. He reminded her, this is broken, it can't be used. After saying that, he walked out and returned to his bedroom on the 3rd floor. Why did Xie have the thing? Xiao Ye vaguely felt it was related to him. Seeing Xiao Ye leave, Xie closed the door, buried her face in the quilt, and was so embarrassed that she wanted to dig a hole and disappear. 3rd floor. Xiao Ye was sleeping when he felt someone enter his master bedroom. The rustling movements were very light and the sound was very soft. A rustling sound came, and 10 seconds later, Xiao Ye felt someone crawl into the quilt and hug him like an octopus. After measuring the size with his hand, Xiao Ye said, You arrogant little girl, what are you doing here so late? Oh. You've been found out. Mu Kingsu was a little surprised. There's something I want to tell you. Tell? Xiao Ye asked in confusion. What is it? Mu Kingsu revealed. Sister Binxi and Sister Xiao have been whispering in Xie's ear, constantly smearing your image, saying you're a lecherous slut and a mercenary bastard, trying to change Xie's feelings towards you and make her dislike you. Xiao Ye's face darkened. So it was Cheng Binxi and Nangang Xiao who were behind it. No wonder Xie's condition was so strange last night. But then, Xiao Ye smiled and said, It's alright. No matter how they slander me, it's all fabricated. They're not talking about the real me. The impression created by such slander can be shattered by reality at any time. Besides, Xie doesn't dislike me. Mu Kingsu suddenly said angrily, Xiao Ye, why don't you beat them up? Out of all these beast girls, have you only ever beaten me? You can't bear to beat the others. Xiao Ye thought for a moment and nodded, That's right. I've only beaten you, you're the only beast girl. You're thick-skinned, what's a little beating? I'm thick-skinned? Mu Kingsu's face turned black with anger. I'm very tender, okay? Xiao Ye, Explain yourself clearly. Who's thick-skinned? Xiao Ye felt his manhood being gripped very tightly, making him feel cold all over. He hurriedly said, I'm thick-skinned, it's myself. Mu Kingsu then let go and snorted, exactly. Then will you beat me up again in the future? Without a second thought, Xiao Ye said, what do you mean by beating you up? That was just sparring. Since you became my beast girl, have I ever beaten you up? Not even once. The only time I did was before you became my beast girl. Besides, this is the era of beast girls, not a peaceful era. Your own combat strength is fundamental. Sparring is perfectly normal. Mu Kingsu thought about it and realized it was true. Her frustration vanished instantly. Alright, stop fooling around. Tomorrow, Yunbing and I are going to the capital to collect your template upgrade resources and reincarnation type rule fragment crystals. I'm always thinking of you, okay? Don't cause any trouble, Xiao Ye said softly. Mu Kingsu, like an octopus, nodded, feeling touched, and said, I understand. Chapter 323 Departure, the Capital. The next day, in the morning, Xiao Ye arrived at Yunbing's villa to wait for the Vajra Supreme couple. Yunbing was still dressed provocatively, in a black leather jacket and pants, her long legs adorned with mysterious, high-end black stockings, and a mink coat draped over her shoulders. Sister Yunbing, if I go today, I'll definitely be exposed to the eyes of many Supremas. They'll find out about our relationship, and you might be accused of being an old cow eating young grass. Yunbing smiled dismissively, no, that won't happen. Those who join the Supreme Alliance are all newly promoted Supremas, and most of them are low-level Supremas. As one of the top 10 Supremas in the Magic City, and a veteran Supreme at that, I'm powerful and beautiful. They'll only think you've climbed the social ladder, not that I'm an old cow eating young grass. Xiao Ye's lips twitched. He put his hands on Yunbing's waist, hugged her, and said, then do you think I've climbed the social ladder? Yunbing rolled her eyes, I was the one who begged to form a contract with you. The truth is, I'm the old cow eating young grass. But none of that matters anymore. I've already got you. Xiao Ye climbed onto Yunbing's breasts, weighed his options, and said, Sister Yunbing, you're very self-aware. However, I need to correct you. You're a young cow eating young grass, not an old cow eating young grass. The lifespan of a supreme being is 5,000 or 6,000 years. Yunbing is currently 1,500 years old, which, proportionally speaking, is equivalent to an average person's age of 25. She's not old. Yunbing said with a half-smile, what's the point of touching someone through a fur coat and a fur jacket? Want me to take it off so you can touch them? Xiao Ye laughed, it's early in the morning, isn't that inappropriate? Yunbing glared at him, you know it's inappropriate, yet you still want to touch them? It's making me very itchy and uncomfortable. Xiao Ye reluctantly withdrew his hand, muttering, didn't they say I'm climbing the social ladder? I want to experience what it feels like to climb the social ladder, to collect some interest first, otherwise when we get to the capital, people will say I'm climbing the social ladder, like a frog turning into a prince. Yunbing's lips twitched. Is this the kind of climbing the social ladder they're talking about? I'll let you climb the social ladder when we get back, this time isn't suitable. Knock knock knock. As the two were flirting and teasing each other, a knock sounded at the door. Xiao Ye went to open the door, thinking it was the Vajra Supreme, but found it was Mu Kingsu and Kinzir. What are you doing here? Xiao Ye asked, somewhat surprised. Mu Kingsu smiled, Kinzir is a little reluctant to part with you, so she came to see you off. Kinzir tugged at Mu Kingsu's sleeve, shyly whispering, Sister Kingsu, how can you say that? Mu Kingsu pulled her hand, saying, don't be shy. Just tell Xiao Ye what's wrong, otherwise we'll have to wait a few days to meet again. Xiao Ye asked, Zir, what is it? Kinzir hesitated for a moment, then blushed and said, Xiao Ye, I need to explain to you that I'll only leave the door open for you, not for other men. She mustered her courage and said, I'm not a casual person. With that, Kinzir covered her face with her hands and ran quickly outside. Xiao Ye's lips twitched. She came to see him today just to say this? Zir, I know you're not a casual person, don't worry. Xiao Ye shouted. Upon hearing this, Kinzir, who had run to the main road, beamed with joy and smiled happily. Great. In his eyes, I'm not a promiscuous person. Inside the villa, Mu Kingsu's eyes widened in disbelief. Leave the door open? Leave what door open? It's not the bedroom door, is it? Well, Xiao Ye, You left my room yesterday and went to Kinzer's room for a tryst. You're really something. HMPH, in the middle of the night, a man and a woman alone together, something must have happened between you two yesterday. A hint of jealousy rose in her heart as she said angrily. I was wondering what you were up to, and I wanted to give you another nudge, but you ignored me and just left. Turns out you went to her place. As Mu Kingsu spoke, Yun Bing, sensing something amiss, quietly appeared behind Xiao Ye. Hearing Mu Kingsu's words, a dangerous glint appeared in Yun Bing's beautiful eyes. Xiao Ye's heart skipped a beat. Oh no, murderous intent. He turned his head and saw Yun Bing's beautiful face filled with murderous intent. Yun Bing clenched her fists, making a cracking sound, and said in a sinister tone, Xiao Ye, you were only gone for half a day yesterday, and you've already hooked up with another pretty beast girl? Xiao Ye smiled calmly and said nonchalantly, I can't help it, it's all because I'm too outstanding, too charming. I can gain a pretty little fangirl just by going out. Yun Bing. Mu Kingsu. Someone's lips twitched, utterly speechless. Seriously, he's getting cocky. Yun Bing raised her fair fist, a half smile on her face, and said, aren't you afraid I'll give you a couple of punches? Mu Kingsu was excited and exclaimed, Sister Yun Bing, beat him up. Give him a good beating and teach him a lesson. HMPH, Mu Kingsu, can't beat you, but in front of Sister Yun Bing, you're just a little shrimp, only fit to be beaten. Xiao Ye narrowed his eyes, raised his face and leaned closer, saying, hit me here, I'll let you at me, come on. Kinzer likes me, what can I do? I can't force her not to like me, can I? Yun Bing's lips twitched, and she withdrew her hand, saying, forget it, I can't bear to hit you, I'd be heartbroken if I hurt you. Actually, at the city lord's mansion in Jinling City, I noticed that Kinzer's gaze towards you was strange, and combined with what she said, I could guess that she had fallen for you. Seeing that she didn't get to beat Xiao Ye up, Mu Kingsu was a little disappointed, so she secretly made up her mind that after the template was upgraded, she must train hard to catch up with Xiao Ye's level so that she could personally beat him up. Yes, just like when he beat me, he beat his butt until it was bruised and bleeding, and he was screaming in pain. Xiao Ye glanced at Mu Kingsu and said, what are you still standing here for? Go watch Kinzer, or he'll drink the aphrodisiac again. Mu Kingsu puffed out her cheeks and stormed out, saying, okay, I know. Only Xiao Ye and Yun Bing remained. Sitting on the sofa, Yun Bing frowned and said, what do you plan to do with this Kinzer? Are you going to form a contract with her? Xiao Ye was speechless. What are you talking about? Do you think I'm the kind of person who would want to form a contract with a stunningly beautiful beast girl just because I saw her? Yun Bing said, I don't believe you have absolutely no feelings for Kinzer. Xiao Ye took a deep breath and said frankly, okay, to be honest, I do have a bit of a kundong feeling. As for forming a contract, we'll see what fate brings. A stunningly beautiful beast girl showed him her pajamas, let him touch them, prepared a box, and even left the door open for him. Any man, especially a virile young man, would be excited by this. Just then, a hearty laugh came from outside. Ha ha ha. Sister Kunpeng, Brother Xiao, it's almost time. Are you ready? It was the voice of Vajra Supreme Changgang. He and a short-haired, capable middle-aged woman entered the villa. Xiao Ye nodded, we're ready. Yun Bing waved her hand, opening a special rift and creating a special teleportation channel, saying, set off, to the capital. Chapter 324 Supreme Alliance. The four stepped into the special rift and vanished. The imperial capital base city was the oldest, most historically significant, and most powerful base city in the Dragon Kingdom. In a vast area to the south of the base city, on the main avenue of the Supreme Alliance, a spatial rift appeared out of thin air, and Yun Bing, Xiao Ye, and the Chenggang couple emerged from it. Chenggang looked around and exclaimed, Sister Kunpeng's special jump is incredibly fast. In just a few seconds, she traversed tens of thousands of kilometers to reach the imperial capital base city. If it were me, it would take several hours to cross the void at full speed. Blue Star is a parallel world to Earth, and its sphere expands tenfold every so often. Currently, the Dragon Kingdom's area is dozens of times larger than the entire flat area of Earth. The distance from Shanghai to the imperial capital base city is tens of thousands of kilometers. The group looked up ahead and saw the front hall of the Supreme Alliance. On the door frame was a plaque filled with mysterious runes, on which the words Supreme Alliance were written in a flamboyant style. Even just the front wall was incredibly grand and imposing. Chenggang sensed it and said, "The entire Supreme Alliance's architecture is deliberately arranged, forming a high-level array barrier from beginning to end at each landing point, completely enveloping the Supreme Alliance area. It's unbreakable even for Supremas, and I estimate even saints wouldn't be able to easily break in." Yunbing nodded. "There are 3 layers of barriers in total, an array barrier, a restriction barrier, and a soul-sealing barrier, all at the saint level. It's a very grand undertaking." Upon hearing this, Xiao Ye immediately felt that the Supreme Alliance had become incredibly sophisticated. 3 saint-level barriers, covering an area of at least 100,000 square meters, such a large-scale saint-level barrier alone was something no other base city could set up. The 4 of them stood on the main road for a while, and 7 or 8 people had already gathered outside. These people were all Supremas, the backbone of the Dragon Kingdom. They were all from the 10 top-tier base cities, and they all appeared in pairs. It was now noon, and the time had come. 2 pairs of greeters emerged from the main hall of the Supreme Alliance, 1 pair of men and 1 pair of women, standing neatly on either side of the entrance. Then, a bloated, fat man with a large head and ears stepped out, a professional smile plastered on his face. He bowed before the group and said with a smile, "Supreme Lords, welcome to the Supreme Alliance. I am Su Sen, the captain of this recruitment drive. Please follow me." Among the 7 or 8 Supreme Lords, the hawk-eyed Supreme Lord and his wife grumbled, "Why is it a lowly nobody greeting us? We are Supreme Lords, at least one Supreme Lord should greet us." Yes, the Supreme Alliance looks grand, but they are stingy in their actions. A glint of shrewdness flashed in the bloated fat man's eyes, but his smile remained unchanged. He said, "Please follow me. The admissions director, the Golden Lion Supreme Lord, is waiting for you. If you have any complaints, you can complain to the Golden Lion Supreme Lord." The Golden Lion Supreme Lord? Upon hearing this, the hawk-eyed Supreme Lord and his wife immediately fell silent, no longer uttering a word of complaint. The Golden Lion Supreme was a top 10 Supreme being among the top 100 Supreme beings in the capital, renowned and famous, capable of easily defeating them with a single hand. Killing them would be as easy as crushing an ant. The Vajra Supreme smiled and said, "Please lead the way, Captain Su." Su Sen nodded, his gaze subtly sweeping over the stunningly beautiful and curvaceous Yunbing, a hint of amazement flashing in his eyes, before turning and leading the group towards the recruitment hall. After passing the front hall, they walked for a while and arrived at the recruitment hall, which was much larger and more magnificent than the front hall. Upon entering, they saw a burly middle-aged man with golden hair sitting on the main seat at the back of the hall. He glanced around, a hint of disappointment in his eyes, but his gaze brightened when he saw Yunbing. He smiled and said, "You've all traveled a long way to the Supreme Alliance. Your journey must be arduous. Please have a seat. Let me first introduce the structure of the Supreme Alliance, the benefits of joining, and the obligations involved. The Supreme Alliance is composed of Supremas from all over the country, with approximately 60 members. It is the public force with the largest number of Supremas in the Dragon Kingdom. After joining the Supreme Alliance, you Supremas can enter the ancient secret realms owned by the Alliance, exchange crystal cores for Supreme-level items that are difficult to purchase elsewhere, exchange insights and understandings with other Supremas in the Enlightenment Pool, and receive protection from the Supreme Alliance when you are outside. Correspondingly, after joining the Supreme Alliance, each Supreme member must complete a task for the Alliance every year. The task is freely chosen." Having finished speaking, the golden-haired Golden Lion Supreme took out a transparent sphere and continued, "If you have no questions, please touch the detection treasure with both hands to check your realm and attributes, and to record your identity information." He gently tossed it, and the transparent sphere floated up, hovering quietly in mid-air. The Hook-Eyes couple were the first to raise their hands, saying, "We have no questions and are willing to join the Supreme Alliance." The transparent sphere automatically floated over, hovering in front of the Hook-Eyes Supreme couple, who placed their hands on it together. The transparent sphere emitted a soft white light, and after a while, a virtual panel appeared in the air above. SSS-Level Vulture Template, Attribute, Gold, Realm, Supreme Second Tier. After the Hook-Eyes Supreme couple finished checking and recording their information, the other 3 Supreme couples began to check and record their information. SSS Grade Demon Plant Template, Attribute, Wood, Realm, Supreme Tier 1. SSS Grade Giant Python Template, Attribute, Water, Realm, Supreme Tier 2. SSS Grade Netherworld Butterfly Template, Attribute, Dark, Realm, Supreme Tier 1, the Golden Lion Supreme looked somewhat disappointed. These attribute templates were commonplace, nothing special. In the Supreme Alliance, templates with these attributes were plentiful. To cultivate to the Supreme level, one needed at least an SSS Grade template, meaning SSS Grade aptitude. Supremes with SS Grade templates were extremely rare. After these people finished checking and entering their information, it was the Vajra Supreme couple's turn. SSS Grade Vajra Template, Attribute, Metal, Realm, Supreme Tier 3, the Golden Lion Supreme remained completely unmoved. But when his gaze fell on Yunbing, a smile appeared on his face, and a fiery glint flashed in his eyes. He laughed and said, Kunpeng Supreme has come here because he is willing to join our Supreme Alliance? Yunbing nodded, yes. The Golden Lion Supreme laughed out loud, very pleased. Hey, good news. I invited Kunpeng Supreme several times before, but he refused each time. Kunpeng Supreme has finally come to his senses and wants to join the organization. Kunpeng Supreme came alone? Isn't the other Kunpeng Supreme coming with you? Yunbing was a little impatient. What do you mean came alone? My husband is right next to me, didn't you see? The Golden Lion Supreme looked at Xiao Ye, and when he saw the excessively young face, he laughed. Kunpeng Supreme just likes to joke. This is your student, isn't he? Chapter 325 When there's work to be done, the secretary will handle it. When there's nothing to do, the secretary will. Feeling slighted, Xiao Ye was met with a cold snort from Yunbing. Are you kidding? Do you think we're that close? Stop dawdling. We joined the Supreme Alliance, not to listen to your nonsense. She and Yunzai were twin sisters, identical in appearance, even down to the smallest details of their bodies. Not a hair was different. Beautiful and with great figures, they held the prestigious title of Kunpeng Twin Kings in the Dragon Kingdom. Naturally, they attracted the attention and covetous eyes of many men, many of whom wanted to possess them. The bolder ones even wanted to have both sisters. Those below the Supreme level had the desire but lacked the courage, but those above the Supreme level were different. Several high-ranking and top-tier Supremes had designs on the sisters, lusting after their alluring figures, and would frequently invite them to dinners, parties, swimming trips, and so on. This Golden Lion Supreme was one of them. Having been rebuffed, the Golden Lion Supreme chuckled, Kunpeng Supreme, please test it so we can enter your information. The transparent sphere flew in front of them, and Yunbing gestured to Xiao Ye before placing their hands on it. The sphere emitted a soft glow, but unlike the others, this glow intensified, becoming dazzling. With a bang, the transparent sphere shattered into pieces. Holy crap, this beautiful Supreme is too audacious. Destroying someone's testing treasure right in front of them. As expected of the Kunpeng Queen, fiery personality, hot temper, and a fight fire with fire mentality, she doesn't even put the Golden Lion Supreme in her eyes. Hiss, I didn't believe that young man and his wife before, but now I'm starting to believe it. Provoking the Golden Lion Supreme within the Supreme Alliance, the Kunpeng Supreme is going to suffer. The other Supremes at the early stage were shocked and began to gloat. The Golden Lion Supreme abruptly stood up, his face showing no anger, but rather surprise. Kunpeng Supreme, your information is too vast. Please test it again. The previous one was the basic version, please use this upgraded version. These testing tools have limited lifespans and are difficult to manufacture. The basic version is usually sufficient. He not only didn't blame Yunbing, but also took out a blue sphere larger than the previous transparent one, tossed it gently, and it automatically flew to Yunbing, hovering quietly in midair. Xiao Ye glanced at the Golden Lion Supreme with surprise. This guy had some brains, he wasn't the kind of mindless trash. Yunbing scoffed, TCH, I hope your testing tool is useful. Yunbing and Xiao Ye placed their hands on it. The blue sphere emitted a soft blue light, which then became dazzling, illuminating the entire hall with unparalleled brilliance. Crack! A crisp cracking sound rang out, and the blue light vanished instantly. A virtual screen appeared above the blue sphere with a huge crack. Template Attributes, Spatial Attribute, Dark Attribute Realm, Supreme Third Tier. Template Attributes, Spatial Attribute, Dark Attribute Realm, Venerable Ninth Tier. Looking at the three large question marks, everyone present was dumbfounded, even the Golden Lion Supreme was stunned. Template, what kind of template is this? Hiss. Is it possible that the template level of the Kunpeng Supreme is above SSS level? Damn, That's actually possible, but what level is above SSS level? Above SSS level is mythical level. But does such a level really exist? The detection item also has the function of detecting whether two people are contractors. The detection item didn't warn, which means the two are contractors. Holy crap, the Kunpeng Supreme and that young man are really husband and wife. Several Supreme couples present were shocked. The Golden Lion Supreme's gaze towards Yunbing intensified, his heart burning with desire. His breathing grew heavy as he said, Kunpeng Supreme, I already know your template information. No further testing is needed. I will explain your special circumstances to the Alliance leader. You don't need to be entered into the cloud system. From this moment on, you have successfully joined the Supreme Alliance. As the Director of Admissions, I'm short a secretary, or assistant. Your Supreme Third Order realm is perfect. Are you willing? Your young husband will also be my secretary. Secretary? Yunbing scoffed. A secretary only when there's work to do, and only when there's nothing to do? You want to mess with me? Sorry, I have no interest in your assistant position. The Golden Lion Supreme's face darkened. Kunpeng Supreme, you're overthinking it. Making you a secretary is purely a job. I can't force you to do anything. Yunbing waved her hand. Alright, since you've successfully joined, goodbye. She took Xiao Ye's hand and headed outside. The Golden Lion Supreme's face turned as black as charcoal. Vajra Supreme chuckled, greeted them, and then the two followed Yunbing out. Inside the Supreme Alliance, there were more than 10 areas, including secret realms, cultivation areas, combat areas, mission areas, and rest areas. Each area was very large, but sparsely populated. The most common sites weren't Supremas, but rather Supreme Alliance staff. Cleaners, greeters, trimmers, maintenance workers, and window service personnel, none of them were Supremas at the Supreme level. Some were Grandmasters, some Venerables, and some Great Venerables. These staff members, besides being highly capable, generally had some connection or relationship with the Supremas to be able to work here. Yunbing and Xiao Ye headed towards the secret realm area. According to the staff at the window, there were over 100 ancient secret realms. 20 of these were open and could be entered without consuming crystal cores, while the other 80 aren't required points or crystal cores to enter. Points were earned by Supremas completing missions. In front of the secret realm teleportation array, the staff at the window explained the characteristics of each secret realm. Each secret realm has its own unique attributes. For example, the ancient fire secret realm contains various powerful fire-type magical beasts, as well as rare and precious fire-type cultivation resources. Of course, the ancient fire secret realm doesn't only contain fire-type magical beasts, it also contains magical beasts of other attributes, such as water-type magical beasts that are the counter to fire. However, fire-type magical beasts make up the majority of the total number of magical beasts. Your Excellency, these are 2 secret realm covenants. Once you enter the secret realm, you must not violate these covenants. Otherwise, your future entries will be limited, and serious violations will prevent you from ever entering again. Yunbing found the ancient secret realm at the spatial coordinates, 007, and discovered that it was an ancient secret realm that could be entered without spending crystal cores. Xiao Ye smiled, it was so easy to get in. Okay, let's go to the 10th Dark Attribute Secret Realm. Taking the secret realm covenants, Yunbing and Xiao Ye went around the window and arrived at the interdimensional teleportation array. The teleportation array buzzed, and the surrounding space trembled and shattered. With a whoosh, a beam of light flashed, and the two were teleported away, disappearing from the teleportation array. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all, see you in the next video.